Jeff, why do you insist on doing this dumb internet shit on TV?
I look and see, it's not just me.
This place is a fucking joke, man. You're a clown, I quit.
So many of us have stood where I stand. We are the young, so raise your hand. So many of us have stood where I stand. We are the young, so raise your hand. They call us problem child. We spend our lives on trial. We walk in and smile. We are the youth gone wild. We stand and we won't fall. We're one and one for all. The writing's on the wall. We are the youth gone wild.
No. It doesn't make logical sense, but it makes.
Yes, of course.
But it makes wrestling booking sense. Of course, this makes no sense. Of course, okay, it makes no sense. However, in pro wrestling booking, which often makes no sense, you would do that. It's about making money. It's not about anything else. Wrestling has always been about making money first and foremost. That's it.
Yes, I look and see, it's not just me.
Last weekend was the greatest weekend in AEW history. This is the greatest week.
I look and see, it's not just me.
Security, my safety, my life was in danger at a wrestling show.
So many of us have stood where I stand. We are the young, so raise your hand. So many of us have stood where I stand. We are the young, so raise your hand. They call us problem child. We spend our lives on trial. We walk an endless smile. We are the youth gone wild. We stand and we won't fall. We're one and one for all. The writing's on the wall. We are the youth gone wild. They call us problem child. We spend our lives on trial. We walk an endless smile. We are the youth gone wild. We stand and we won't fall. We're one and one for all. The writing's on the wall. We are the youth gone wild. Living wild. Yeah.
If you're familiar with how we do things often here on these Wednesdays, it's a lot like one of my favorite movies, Time Cop.
What? Fuck you. Fuck you.
Yeah.
God damn it. Yeah.
B3CCA. Yeah, my life totally sucks. I hate me. I'm an idiot. I'm a piece of shit. But I hate you more than I hate myself. I hate you more than anybody else. Looking at your face fills my heart with whoa, 'cause I'm a real emo kid and you're a fake sad hoe. You're my nightmare from the nightmare factory. All you do is lift weights and drink energy drinks. You make me sad. The way you act, you're just a jock. Is Paramore emo or is it just pop punk? Yeah, my life is trash and I'm really sad. I'm an idiot. I'm a piece of shit. But I hate you more than I hate myself. I hate you more than anybody else. Looking at your face fills my heart with whoa, 'cause I'm a real emo kid and you're a fake sad hoe. Yeah, looking at your face fills my heart with whoa, 'cause I'm a real emo kid and you're a fake sad hoe.
You're a fake sad hoe. Like a bitch.
Ooh, what's up, and everyone? Welcome to another eclectic edition of PWT live show Wednesday night. I am your host, the infallible Phil Marks. And let's get into things here. Hope you guys had a good weekend. Hope you guys had a good start to your week. If you didn't get to check in with us during PWT member show, guys, memberships are 99 cents. You already know. Check out patreon.com. I gave early access of PWT podcast episode 102, and PWT pod is coming back with a vengeance. Myself and JJ Alexander linked up, and it will be on YouTube, but if you're on Patreon, you get it like a day or two early, you know, the just the regular pods. And we break down the whole Niccolo Piccolo versus Tony Khan saga, sort of, because it's sort of subsided. So we broke down like Saga 2 and where it's at now and give predictions of what we think is going to come. And we just went through a whole whack of stuff. And it's crazy, hilarious, funny, sad, disturbing, all of those things. So make sure you check it out. Patreon.com/Pro Wrestle Times. Guys, we have tons of news. Okay, we have tons of news. We have miscellaneous news. We have Shelly Martinez snapped out on what's her face? Sorry, Janel Grant. So many names. We have Vince McMahon hiding money or stuff like this, right? Things of that nature, or being reimbursed for money, even though he was caught hiding money in the goddamn company or whatever.
Are you sure about that?
I'm not a lawyer. This is a cartoon. We have Tony Khan co-opted. He's a self-made man. And so, of course, he would identify with self-made people and co-opt the dirt sheet self-made, and of course Ibou. We have a bit of a sicko segment. We're going to laugh at Ibou a little bit tonight. Dynamite is on right away in like 20 minutes, and we're going to preview the Elimination Chamber. And there's some crazy like indie news and sort of miscellaneous from the world of wrestling news, and some more MMA UFC shit. We're not going to dive into the weeds with like fighters and fights, just more touching on this whole TKO sitch that's going on and how it pertains to WWE. And WWE also beat, they cashed in again and they outdrew UFC. So we're going to talk about that a little bit and so much more. Hit like, hit subscribe if you support your boy Phil. And let's get into this show, ladies and gentlemen. It is time for some bad news. Phil Marks Out is my other channel.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Been inactive, not gonna lie.
I've got some bad news.
Been inactive on it, not gonna lie. Been busy. So in sad news here, indie wrestler Lars Luger and his mother killed in Pleasanton shooting, and the suspect was arrested. So condolences, just deepest condolences. It's a travesty when things like this happen. And unfortunately, starting with some sad news in the world of indie pro wrestling. But perhaps things on a more lighter note, Mauro Ranallo will be doing commentary for Ring of Honor, Maple Leaf Pro, Global Wars Canada, buddy. That's March 27th. So about a month from now. And I'm excited. I'm excited for it, I suppose. I haven't seen a card or anything, but I support this Canadian shit. We couldn't get the gold medals in hockey, but we're going to do the damn thing here and put on a good show. Hopefully Scott D'Amore helps Tony Khan put on a good show here. Moving along. So in other news that's semi indie related, but also relates to WWE and UFC, which I want to talk about. UFC signs a WWE tryout athlete, Kill Bill, for a short notice Mexico fight. So she's 8-0 in MMA, and UFC just signed her last second, and she recently tried out for the WWE. I forget her name, actually. Let me check this out here on MMA Junkie and USA Today. What's her real name here? Kill Bill is like her ring name. You know how every UFC fighter has a gimmick nickname, and you kind of get known by it. Shogun, Rampage, etc. And so she's 7-0. She's 8-0 now, but 7 finishes. And her name is Regina Taran, or Taran, however you pronounce it, but she's native to Mexico there, and hopefully everyone stays safe. Like, shit was popping off. I don't know if it was in Mexico City, but Mexico shit went crazy there for a day, and I just hope everybody's safe and sound and that's all figured out. But with that being said, we could have a potential crossover star in the making here, and she's got the bride gear on here. And speaking of UFC and whatnot, so let me see here. Staging a UFC event on the White House lawn is expected to cost around $60 million. So they're spending $60 million, TKO is, to put on this White House fight card. And the dude in the main event will be lucky if he makes $300 grand to show and $300 grand to win. Do you know what I mean? Like, they're just spending this money. Signed Conor Benn for $15 million or whatever. I mean, the price is definitely right, Bobby. So interesting. It'll be like 3,000 seats, or I think 3,000 to 5,000, but they're expected to have like 1,000 set aside for troops and whatnot. Incredible that they're just dumping the money into that when UFC's been incredibly lazy elsewhere, in all honesty. And you have fighters like Sugar Sean O'Malley saying, like, dude, I never even heard of Conor Benn, and he's getting paid all this money for a 1-fight deal too. He could just turn around and fuck Dana and go back to Eddie Hearn right after. It's just Dana trying to flex, and it's crazy. That's what the WWE money's being spent on, But because of this money and how TKO has handled their business, taking care of business, Frank Warren is suing SCLA and TKO. Frank Warren's Queensberry Promotions, are preparing a $1 billion lawsuit against SCLA and TKO Group for breach of contract, alleging a new partnership conflicts with Queensberry's prior exclusivity rights to Saudi boxing operations. And again, Turki Al-Sheikh just does what the fuck he wants to do. He just does what he wants to do, man. So if he's going to put on whatever super fights, he's going to tell Dana when he's got to get shit done and all of these things. So they're being sued. TKO is being sued right now. And again, when you're a major billions, millions of dollars, this shit is going to happen. But yeah, Turki Al-Sheikh, this just stems from, he's like, well, fuck you, I'm going into business with Dana over here, or whatever he's doing, that's all it really boils down to. And of course, WWE is a huge factor in that. Like, just partnering with TKO means you have all this other stuff that sort of comes along with it. So if you work with WWE, it doesn't automatically mean, UFC is going to be included. But what have we already seen? Like, immediately, we've seen WWE NXT events out of the Apex. We hear about they're moving offices to Vegas and they're operating more out of Vegas. We're seeing crossover people. Like, how was this girl on UFC's radar? Oh, we got her. Boom, signed her. Last minute fight. Shinsuke's walked people out. We're going to talk more about that in a bit, because Booker T actually got a fucking monster pop in Houston, like a huge pop, man, like bigger than most of the fighters. So good for Booker. I can dig that. We'll get into it in a bit. But whistleblower claims Paramount president Jeff Shell leaked details of the $7.7 billion UFC deal. Paramount president Jeff Shell improperly disclosed specific details about the timing, cost, and structure of the public company's $7.7 billion media rights deal with the Ultimate Fighting Championship almost a month before its August 2025 announcement. That's the allegation of leaked confidential data that an outsider law firm is now investigating. So again, more suings after UFC just had to do these massive fucking payouts. Like they just did fighter payouts for like a huge class action or whatever. So moving along here. A WWE filing shows Vince McMahon reimbursed millions in investigation costs. So I'm not entirely sure what this all entails here. This is courtesy of Ringside News. So according to the filing, TKO's latest SEC filing didn't just outline revenue figures. It's also provided new financial details about Vince McMahon and his monetary ties to WWE following the board investigation that ultimately led to his exit. According to the filing, McMahon has reimbursed WWE more than $12 million in connection. Oh, so he's actually paying WWE back for the bullshit he caused them. Not that the money matters, because that $12 million just went into Conor Benn's bank account, but in connection with the special committee investigation that examined alleged misconduct and preceded the lawsuit filed by Janel Grant, as well as his resignation after the TKO merger. The company formally disclosed McMahon's prior control and financial obligations. Vincent K. McMahon, who served as executive chair of the company's board of directors until January 26, 24, previously controlled a significant portion of the voting interests of the issued and outstanding shares of the company's common stock. So the filing explains that McMahon agreed to make certain payments personally and that those payments are accounted for under SEC guidelines. So boom, he's paying back WWE, which is actually a W, right? Vince McMahon. I don't know. He's getting a slap on the wrist. After the car crash footage came out too, like that's crazy. How he just swerved the whip into a fucking, just oncoming traffic, does some barely makes it out, Fast and Furious type shit. Oh, I'm a stupid idiot, pal. God damn it, that's never happened before. I fell asleep at the wheel. So yeah, he's paid them back a little bit, but here's Thirsty Thurston. So Brandon Thurston had this to say, and this actually has to do with WWE generating $1.7 billion in revenue. $1.7 billion beat the UFC. WWE did. Meanwhile, rewind like a decade, not even a decade ago, maybe like about a decade ago, roughly, give or take. And Jim Cornette's ranting about how, and shout him out, he was absolutely right. But really think about how popular wrestling's getting again, or at least how much revenue they're able to generate, what people are willing to pay to see it, which obviously is a testament to what they're offering as far as like the talent and superstars and the actual matches and the drama and all of these things, right? But Jim Cornette was talking about like UFC is now the pro wrestling, and that's why they're drawing, and that's why they got all the fucking eyeballs, and that's why So it's impressive that WWE is able to pull this off. I'm sure some financial nerd could come in and be like, well, actually, Phil, the fucking merchandise in MMA doesn't work the same way as I'm sure you could break it down, but it's interesting, man. Wrestling's so back, but we're going to talk more about that in WWE news. But the TKO COO, Mark Shapiro, and this is from Thurston. So Mark Shapiro rolls out new jargon. Site fees do not fully capture the range of incentives. Going forward, they'll be known as financial incentive packages, or as we like to call them, FIPs. So FIPs, financial incentive packages, going forward. So site fees do not fully capture the range of incentives. So going forward, they will be known as financial incentive packages. So does that mean like fees on top of fees here? This guy asked Grok. This guy named Big Brain 99999 asked Grok, how ironic. So he goes, Grok, what are site fees and what is the context? So in TKO's world, site fees are cash payments plus other incentives that cities, states, or venues pay to host big events. They are high margin revenue. Context. From today's earnings call, Mark Shapiro said the term site fees is too narrow. So they're now calling the full range financial incentive packages. This ties in a strong live event growth they highlighted verse 2024. E-drones? Yeah, dude, FIPs, dude. If you're not down, bro, WWE has the highest FIPs, bro. Yeah, I don't know. That's just wild. They're just nickel and diming every last fucking thing they can. If they can figure out how to fucking tax the oxygen in the building and charge you a fee for that, they'll fucking do it. If the venue's not an outdoor one, they'll figure out a way to do it. You know what I'm saying? So in other fight news, Floyd Mayweather versus Manny Pacquiao 2 is officially set for September 19, and Mayweather's taking on Mike Tyson in an exhibition. What the fuck? Mayweather's just committing, as he puts it, highway robbery, because I don't know how real these fucking Netflix is going to have to do some work, and hopefully this Gina Carano Ronda Rousey fight helps, sort of rectify some of the cheesiness. Like, there's been some good fights on Netflix, but just some of the phoniness I feel like we've seen. They're gonna have to get that back. And Mayweather versus Pac, I mean, I don't think Pacquiao's gonna like phone it in or take money to fucking do a little exhibition. But is it an exhibition or is it an actual pro bout? That's the other thing. And they always change shit and flip it up. So hopefully this is an actual pro bout and not just an exhibition. Mayweather will win. Mayweather clears. I think Mayweather will beat Tyson in their exhibition as well, like in public perception, because he'll just touch him up a bunch of times and Tyson won't really get him. Like, you can't. And here's the thing. You can, but you can't really pretend to let a guy like Tyson land shots on you. Yeah, let's try and make it look real, and you're that much smaller than him, especially Mayweather. Like, he could just get starched, and Mayweather's, his whole gimmick is he's undefeated. So he's never going to tarnish that. The only person who claims he beat Mayweather was another exhibition bout. It was Logan Paul, and look how Mayweather handled him. And Logan Paul was trying to whoop Mayweather's ass too. And Mayweather just carried him along and tagged him up. Like, if pound for pound, like if they're the same size, he'd have starched Logan Paul's ass. So Mike Tyson is like, can barely move. He's just going to get touched up a bunch. Whatever. I said we're not going to get off in the weeds with the fightings and all of that, but here we are. So in other indie pro wrestling, fighting / indie / international, and all of these things combined into one, former UFC and Ryzen champion Jiri Prohaska, who you've seen at WWE events, he greatly appreciates pro wrestling. He's a huge Lucha Libre fan and just WWE fan. And he's linking up with CMLL and Maple Leaf Pro. And he was in attendance for Lucha Libre Wrestling Promotions CMLL a few days ago. And it's undeniable, like, CMLL is hot in Mexico if you're an Uber Mark, and they're doing the crossover shit with MLP. And yeah, Jiri, shout him out. If you are ever like, what fighter do I look up? Like, I'm a pro wrestling fan, I want to look up a fighter. Jiri, he's just so entertaining. His fights are always the most chaotic, reckless. He'll get dropped 7 times, then come back and fucking KO his opponent. He's like, he trains out in nature, and like, I don't know. He's a modern samurai, and he's there with Giselle Shaw. So it's just cool to see him showing love. I should have put the Booker T clip in here. We'll get to it in WWE news, but he got a massive pop again at UFC Houston. But Premier Wrestling Federation, PWF Live, the king of old school, Steve Corino, made a surprise return to professional wrestling after more than 5 years to challenge Caitlin Marie for the PWF championship. And Corino fucking won. And he's the first ever 7 times PWF champion. and he's there to stay in PWF exclusively. So wasn't he working in WWE, or isn't he working in WWE? And it's crazy. Everybody predicted he was going to be in 2K26, and then he fucking wasn't. And it was such an
Liar!
I don't know, guys. You want to talk about how 2K26 is kind of fucking...
Let's talk about it.
I don't know. It looks fun, like the ragdoll physics and all that sold me on it, and the Monday Night Wars shit. But yeah, in other news, WWE adjacent news, here's Brock Lesnar's son, and other sports, I suppose. His son, Turk Lesnar. So his kids' names are like, I think Maya's the one, and then I think one's like Duke, and then one's like Turk. Well, one is Turk, but the other one's like Dirk or Duke or something, and they're just the most like jockish names ever. This kid's a ginger, and he fucking rules. He's, I don't know. It's just he's dominating hockey. His kids are all dominating their sports. His one son's a football player. Maya's got like shot put records, and I don't know. Get them all NIL deals right now. No, they can go to the NHL. Or this guy will, the other dude, maybe CFL, maybe NFL, maybe pro wrestling, fall back on them. Maybe he wants to fight one day. I don't know what Maya does. She'll go to the fucking Olympics, I'm sure, and get sponsors from Nike and all of these sorts of things. But this Turk Lesnar kid, like, go to the NHL, make millions, don't pro wrestle. Boom, big hits too. Oh, and he's a snipe. He's a snipe.
Can you walk me through that third bingo? I don't know. I just got it from, who was it? Beersy. And I don't know, I just kind of ripped it, and it...
I just love how he fucking talks Canadian, bud.
Far down. So. Cue the highlights. Lots to come from the fellas. Good job, boys.
He just ripped her, bud. Yeah, and he's like bigger than all the kids, too. All the other kids, more or less, like frame-wise. Yeah, good for him, man. That dude's gonna be a problem in the NHL, man. I'm telling you. Oh, hey, they're in fucking Saskatchewan, dude. These guys are Team Canada all the way, dude. We got Turk Lesnar coming at your ass 2030 or whatever. When's the next Winter Olympics? We're coming for gold, dude. We got the fucking Lesnar clan on our side. Holy man, that kid's a little tank. So speaking of creepy shit, I guess, I don't know, that wasn't creepy, but or that kid is pretty terrifying on the ice. But something terrifying in real life is robots and AI, and we all can agree. But Antonio Inoki, who is a terrifying man in and of himself, let alone robot Antonio Inoki, and this sounds like something out of a 2K game, but he is returning in the form of an AI Inoki and a humanoid robot. You fucking...
You what?
A literal E-drone. What, dude? Coming back from the dead as a robot? And like, I wonder if he took notes and journaled and chronicled shit and then like downloaded it, like you get an AI to process it all and then it like recreates your consciousness and shit. There's like people who've been testing this for like a long, and this isn't even conspiratorial, like some dude did it who was in robotics, and he's in like engineering and shit. He did it with his wife and his wife's journals and shit, and this was like all over the news and stuff like a decade ago. So imagine where that shit is now today, and we're gonna get, what is it gonna be, life-sized? Is he gonna come in like, you remember the Inoki slap where he'd go up and like slap pro wrestlers or MMA fighters, and it was like a sign of approval, like you're gonna be something. He famously like slapped the shit out of Lyoto Machida, and look at what Lyoto Machida is, one of the best. And I wonder, is Inoki going to be a robot just fucking slapping people's heads off? An Inoki bot punching fucking holes through fighters' heads?
Wrestling's not fake!
Fucking Mecha Inoki. I just watched all the King Kong Godzillas the Monsterverse, right? They fight Mecha Godzilla, fucking Mecha Inoki. So a humanoid robot which aims to be completed by his birthday next year, the Android Inoki project. Like, that sounds terrifying. That's a Netflix. That's one of those Korean Netflix shows. You guys know what I'm saying? That's like All of Us Are Dead or whatever. Fucking Ichi Sanda. Inoki, of course, bringing pro wrestling to Korea, but that sounds like some scary fucking docu-series on Netflix, a 6-parter. So it's a collaboration between the Inoki Genki Factory and Avita Inc., with the goal for the robot to be an advisor to the youth 100 years from now. That is fucking terrifying. Jesus Christ. Someone preserve Jim Cornette's brain while we're at it. This is a possibility. Speaking of things being possible and anything being possible, Matt Morgan, friend of the show, says, after sharing my testimonial of how I overcame my opioid addiction 20 years ago this April at Leadership Seminoles fundraising telethon for Recovery House of Central Florida, I get interrupted live on the air by someone putting both of those two amazing organizations down. So let's check in with Matt Morgan and see what he's doing here. And a round of applause for his sobriety. And I implore you all to check him out, BP Matt Morgan, or BP Morgan on X. Let me just quickly double check it. It is BP Matt Morgan. Pardon me, I was correct the first time. And support the link there that he has. Because they're raising money for like recovery houses and whatnot.
Myself 20 years ago.
And support for people.
Or whether they're about to lose their home, to lose their family, lose their life, most importantly.
And he gets confronted by some mark here.
So a huge shout out to Fritz Voltaire, Mr. Carr over there at the Recovery House, Central Florida, but also Leadership Seminole Class 35 for being able to put on.
I don't know. I see Triple Cup Tone was over here chilling in the back. I wonder.
Everything that, excuse me?
Like you've been yapping nonstop.
I've
got something to say.
Hang on, guys, it's okay.
Oh shit.
Security, he's good. Security, he's good.
My personal opinion.
Security, he's good. Security, he's good. Selling the game. The blueprint.
I think Leadership Seminole is stupid. I think they're organizations that help no one but insignificant
Boo! Boo this man!
Insignificant bums like you.
Oh, you fucked up. You fucked up. You fucked up. You fucked up.
An idiot, meathead, professional wrestler.
You fucked up! You fucked up! You fucked up!
What are you gonna do about it? Hey.
On behalf of Leadership Seminole Class of 35.
It's a bit much, sir.
I'm not done. And Recovery House of Central Florida.
It's a bit much.
Especially then.
Now watch this bump.
A brand new table.
Oh, you know that felt good. You know Matt felt good doing that.
Let's give it back up. Now back to your regularly scheduled program.
Oh, he no-sold it. He popped it. Oh, no, he fell back down. Good. He was selling it. I was like, this J-Brone just no-sold the choke slam from the blueprint. How dare you? Michael Drouillard has been a member for 17 months. It's Mecha Inoki. Yes, dude. Absolutely. You're entirely right. Mecha Inoki rules. Let's get into, and that was a shoot, by the way, guys. I don't know if you know. So speaking of shoots, Jasmine St. Clair and Shelly Martinez both had something to say about Janel Grant. And we covered Janel Grant on the last show and what she had to say about Vince McMahon for the first time publicly, and WWE, and saying how they also, victimized her, and or she felt, I don't know if she said victimized exactly, but they sort of weaponized storylines against her is what she alluded to. So I guess that's being a victim and whatnot. or being victimized. And so Jasmine St. Clair, pornographic actress, and I think she did some shit in like ECW and WCW. No, I'd have to Wikipedia her, but I don't know if my wife would appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? But she had this to say about Janel Grant, and she said, well, social media, well, she didn't say this, but Ringside News says, while social media fractured into loud debates about NDAs, corporate transparency, and legal process, St. Clair zeroed in on one point. She does not believe Grant is a victim. Responding directly to coverage of the controversy, St. Clair posted a blunt reaction on Twitter. Two things. So this is what St. Clair had to say. Two things. Who is paying her to say all of this? Does TKO have anything to do with this? But most importantly, she's not a victim. All she's doing is slapping real victims in their faces with her false victimology. And unfortunately, in a world where, like, we have insane shit going on, crazy things fucking going on in the world, files being leaked and all this shit, kooky shit going on in the world. And then you have a woman where, and again, I'm not trying to defend Vince. I'm the last guy to do that. But listen, man, if he gave her $3 million, would she have just been cool? We went over all the gifts that Vince gave her as well over the years that I guess were documented in court, and some of them were silly. It was like meals that I'm sure she shared with Vince, and then other stuff, you know, he was buying her bags and all this stuff. I don't fucking know at what point it becomes like, okay, was she getting passed around and stuff? Like, who fucking knows, right? Like, I don't even know what she's entirely alleging because it seems unclear. Like, Brock Lesnar got dragged into this. Chael Sonnen brought up as well. He's like, did anybody even confirm if that was actually Brock? Like, we actually don't know. Nobody said, like, she just said it, you know, but at the same time, like, if he just gave her $3 million, would this have not even been an issue? And then meanwhile, you look at like horror, and it's not like to lower one tragedy to raise another, but is this as tragic as, you know, or did, like, I don't fucking know, man. But yeah, this woman here, no, I'm just totally joking. Jasmine St. Clair said, though, that she's not a victim. She's slapping real victims in the face. And, you know, she was not alone in thinking this and having similar sentiments. And speaking of being slapped in the face, I mean, Shelly Martinez wants to slap, or says somebody should be slapping Janel Grant in the fucking face. And she says that she's acting like a little bitch who needs to get her ass beat. So here is Shelly Martinez.
I get it. I get Janel Grant and where she's coming from. But I'm here to say it's a choice. And she chose to have this arrangement with McMahon. She chose to go through certain things to get what she wanted at the end of the day. And then where it really makes me mad is there's people out
Your tag is failed OnlyFans model.
there that did not consent, men or women, I don't care who, they did not consent. They get taken advantage of against their will, and then their jobs or whatever it is now in jeopardy because they need to be quiet. Like, those stories exist, and a lot of those stories don't get out there because they have to comply, because you got all these Janel Grants out there trying to act like this little do-gooder when you knew it, you weren't taken advantage of. It was very clear. You get X, Y, and Z, and this is what you have to do for it. If you want to continue to have this thing, I'm sure
it's like, if you want to continue, it's like Squid Game, vote X. If you want to leave, vote circle. If you want to stay in the game, you'll be split into groups of 2. This half of the plane, if you vote X, the kittens all count as 1 vote.
The ante every time they like renegotiated. So
and when Vince is like, I was giving kittens away to my friends.
That's when she wanted more things for herself that are going to be more expensive, because now to her, that transaction, that currency, it needs to match. So, oh, if McMahon, you want me to do that now? Well, then guess what? You're getting me a BMW. That's where you see the currency rise on both ends. It's a deal. It's a transaction. And it makes me angry to no end that she is playing this part. And maybe she's a industry plant. I don't know.
And what's all that about? Like, why do both of these girls think she's an industry plant? Like, where does that come? What does that do? I think you can go, okay, she just wants money, or okay, she really at one point felt victimized in a way that, like, you might not understand. We don't know the nitty gritty. But then it's like she's an industry plant to what? Distract from like fucking other files that are being dropped. Lock all these people up. God damn it. I'm tired of this. Lock all these motherfuckers up. Lock every one of them up. What the fuck is going on?
There's also that twist. But either way, this
lock El Clone up. He's too saucy right now.
Video made me so mad to where I was goofing around in my head about how we can make light of the situation a little bit here on our show. And make
El Clone kind of rules. Not even gonna lie.
Different than everyone else. And then immediately Janel Grant took that away from me with her damn nonsense and what she has to say in that video. And I'm a woman, and I'm a woman that has had shitty things happen to me. I don't like that girl. I don't like that girl.
She's like, I had shitty things happen to me on my head too. What the fuck? But she says she's acting like a little bitch that needs to get her ass beat. Well, I don't know. She needs to get her ass beat. I already did that, pal. That's why she's suing me. No. Okay. That, ladies and gentlemen, was miscellaneous news. Oh my goodness, what an excellent segment that was.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm afraid I've got some bad news.
Pardon me. My goodness. Okay, and we're getting some thirsty Thurston stuff live on the go for WWE news. Let's talk about WWE because we were yipping and yapping about it already a little bit earlier. Yeah, El Clone, what do you guys think? Mox just seems like he's having one of these sloppy, he doesn't give a fuck matches against El Clone. That's the problem. And the crowd seems very, very quiet. Maybe it's just me, but well, they're chanting one more time now. Or at least a chunk of them are. So, yeah, let's get into some WWE news, folks, as we watch Moxley chop the shit out of El Clone, who's pretty cool, man. Hologram's cool. El Clone's cool. Like, you know, the concept's been done in Lucha already, and it's like, at least he owns these IPs. Tone needs to start coming up with some characters. You know, where's his Undertaker? Where's his guy that it's like a unique, it's not some guy from the indies who gets to keep his name, but like, here's a guy that was good on the indies and no one knows who he is, and I'm going to fucking give him a gimmick, and here's one of my wrestling ideas. And I'm going to book my creation into superstardom, right? That's what makes a good booker. That's another element you just don't see at all in AEW. Let's get into, though, before we start roasting and ripping and ravaging AEW, let's get into WWE news, ladies and gentlemen. Before we get into it, Cashman A for 5 says, I'm not going to tell you how to do your show, but I'll give you my opinion, and I think you should never touch the Vince McMahon stuff again, please. He's begging. I know, it's traumatizing.
Emotional damage.
It's traumatizing. Yeah, I don't know. No guarantees. There's no guarantees in this life. That's all I'll say. So, ladies and gentlemen, speaking of guarantees, one thing that is a guarantee in life is that NordVPN is going to hook you up with a good deal if you use my link below, nordvpn.com/pro wrestle times, and make sure you sign up for whatever that deal they got going on. And they're always like giving away a gift card or giving 73% off or whatever. Get Canadian Netflix and YouTube. That's all I'll say. I'll promote that till the death of me. If you're a WWE fan, you can't go wrong. Speaking of WWE fandom, it's time for WWE news. Ladies and gentlemen, let's fucking go. So we talked about this earlier on. Booker T, he got a big pop. Are you guys ready for this? Road Warrior pops, Austin pops, now Booker pops at a UFC event. And I'll tell you, I watch all the goddamn UFCs. The wrestlers who get the biggest pops have been Rey Mysterio and now Booker T. It's a quick clip. Oh, yeah, man. They like cut it off there a little bit. And they were in Houston. And so, of course, he's just beloved. And, yeah, Sean Strickland got a good KO finish over Fluffy Hernandez. But, yeah, listen one more time, and look how happy Book is. And, again, this couldn't have come at a more choice time, like right after Dave's dumb ass fucking and his the Observer newsletter, and Brian Alvarez spends all this time shitting on NXT, and then they're sitting there shitting on Vic Joseph. Brian Alvarez was literally like, and Vic Joseph is on that list. Then you have Dave Meltzer and his dumbass voters hating on Booker
the young
T.
superstar, babyface, that former heel thing. So,
and then you see like fight fans, sports fans, real people. Look at that. I mean, come on. That just rules so hard. And we didn't even get Harlem Heat in 2K26. Like, what the fuck is going on with that? Speaking of what the fuck's going on, man, there was a lot happening on Raw and NXT. So let's go through these things chronologically. We are well, actually, we're not. We're going to go to NXT first because we're talking about Book, and he is more closely tied to NXT, I would say, than anything else. Then we'll talk about Raw a little bit and what went down there, pardon the scrolling. But Miles Bourne beat Ethan Page and became the NXT North American champion. And again, it was one of these events where it was a changing of the guard in NXT. Let's take a listen. These videos are glitching out here. Bourne did it! DKO's got fucking strong arming me. They're doing a blackout. They're doing a blackout on PWT PLEs. The fuck? But he won the title, and good for him. The title is going to help elevate him. Ethan Page elevated it so much to where now it's going to help elevate Bourne. And maybe Ethan Page will go main roster. Maybe he'll become NXT champ again. Who fucking knows? But there was a changing of the guard, 3 title changes, essentially, and or 2 or 3. And, I mean, Brian Alvarez was melting down about it with faux fucking outrage again because, like, his humiliation ritual continues where he has to shit on NXT. And I think they're going to call more people up. And if they don't do that, it doesn't matter. But we're having titles switch around a little bit, and we're starting to see the younger guys, like Ethan Page has done all he could do, I think. And it's time to move him up to Raw or SmackDown. But shout out Bourne. He deserves this.
NXT North America! All that training, all those moments.
That beautiful custom maple leaf right there, bud. So Zaruka is over. So JC Jane retains. So she retained her title, pardon me, but the breakup happened between Zarya and Soul, and then of course you get the match out of that before inevitably Soul goes up to the main roster. Let's be real, and then Zarya will go slide into that NXT Women's Championship position. and then Jane can maybe drop it to a babyface down the line. But think about it. You get like a big match for NXT between these two girls that doesn't even need either of their singles titles for the women or whatever. So NXT still doing great shit. Those who don't get it, I just fear they don't get it. And it's not one of these pretentious things like they're doing well in the ratings, right? It's been a success for CW. We can look at the people who are becoming stars, the years of stars that NXT's produced. You can't tell me Sol Ruka doesn't clear like most people in the wrestling biz, let alone like, oh, she clears AEW. She clears some of the main roster too right now, you know? So as far as just like her aura, the way she carries herself, her ability in the ring, the whole package. So people hating on, I don't understand it. Is it the most brilliant wrestling of all time? I don't know. Maybe you could chalk it up to that if they keep producing stars the way they are. Not going to lie. There's got to be something to it. Was OVW the most brilliant shit ever? No. Well, you got Batista, Brock Lesnar, John Cena, Shelton Benjamin. You got all of them out of one Randy Orton out of one class. So what is really important? You know, what is the greatest wrestling of all time, Brian? The greatest thing I've ever seen. You know, I don't want to hear that shit.
Fuck you, bye, boom.
But yeah, Zaruka breaks up, and then JC Jane she does a great job with this too, to where so the spear happens, and then the F5 happens, and then JC Jane is like, oh my God, and Zarya is kind of like backup bitch to JC and her crew too. And then Soul's all fucked up, and then JC Jane quickly wins the match as like the graphic comes up and the Progressive Women's Championship. Again, it makes it feel like it's something that happened in the heat of the moment. Like it seems like it is a shoot that it happened for real. And then she cheers, like JC Jane's just brilliant in the way she sold it. She's like, oh my God, I did it. Like it was a real title defense. It just, the whole thing is a good thing in a way, because you just like, it was over. Everyone was like, what the fuck? Everyone's standing, what the fuck? And then the way Jane's selling it, I did it. Like it's some big deal. Like she did anything. That whole thing ruled. Everyone was on point with that. So another NXT Evolve and adjacent news, WWE has filed to trademark WWE Evolve Succession. So is that like Dark Elevation, or what the fuck are we talking about here? Not entirely sure. Stand and Deliver. NXT Stand and Deliver 26 will officially take place outside of WrestleMania week for the first time. The show is set for Saturday, April 4th in St. Louis, Missouri. And again, you can get some main roster guys to maybe pull up and be like, hey, you know, we did a great house here, and this is the future of NXT and all that, because it's their Mania. So, you know, it would be par for the course to have like a Randy Orton show up and RKO someone, or maybe just put someone over as far as like in a promo or a little segment or something backstage. That all makes sense. And also, this is better for those guys and girls who train and typically perform. They train to perform at night, and they routinely perform at night, and they're used to performing at night typically. And then and of course, you got to go to Europe. There's exceptions to every rule, but then their main event of the year, if you will call it that, their WrestleMania, if you want to call it that, Stand and Deliver, where they stand and deliver. They're expected to do so like in the morning before lunch, you know, before WrestleMania. And I just think that that's stupid. So this is a way better solution. And I think WrestleMania, it's a 2-night event. It could be a 2-week affair as far as like Hall of Fame, Stand and Deliver, fucking Legends Roundtable with the Hall of Famer or whatever the fuck. Like you could do so many things. The roast of Wrestle, you could do that on just a different night. And I get it, people are in town and all of that, but all this money you guys are making, you can fucking keep people in town. You can get people in town. You can show for them around. You can get them plane tickets. I don't want to hear this bullshit. So, yeah, Stand and Deliver. I stand and applaud. that decision to move it to a different day. Succession is their special episode takeover type show. They had one months ago. Thank you for that. Thank you. So they're just like re-upping it, or they didn't even trademark it to begin with, but Succession is essentially their PLE type. What we build, because you have to have, it can't just be like we're doing stuff every week. I mean, maybe if you're AEW, but there has to be like an objective in mind. So yeah, that'll be cool. I can't wait to check that out and watch that. So I want to talk about Raw a little bit. Let's do AAA first. Let's talk about the Grand Campeon, Dominic Mysterio. He gets the opening ceremony started for San Diego FC, and he got scared of the pyro. Is it a work or shoot, brother? Good stuff. I don't think he was scared of it. He just plugged his ears. You don't want to get your ear popped, do you? So the contract has been signed for Rey de Reyes. If Dominic Mysterio wins, El Hijo del Vikingo cannot challenge for the AAA Mega Championship. If El Hijo del Vikingo wins, Dominic Mysterio leaves AAA forever. Now, this type of like loser leaves Mexico stipulation is amazing.
Wrestling's not fake!
There's huge stakes for both guys, and I don't know which way they go with this. I really don't know which way they go. Dom could always, as a heel, turn back on like the I'm not going to be in AAA type thing. But then why do the stipulation, right? I just really don't know. And I don't know if they won't ever allow El Hijo to win the title again, but maybe that is the move because they want to bring him to like Raw and SmackDown and shit, or do you think it benefits them more to just keep him in AAA? Or does Dom just leave AAA because he's already like a main roster guy anyways, and he needs to focus on his Intercontinental title and things like that, and moving up to possibly even a world heavyweight title one day. So I don't know how they play this, but it's interesting to say the least. It is interesting to say the least, man. So Mr. Iguana reveals that he created his gimmick in SmackDown versus Raw ahead of his video game debut in 2K26. So he revealed that he, in PS2 SmackDown versus Raw, he created Mr. Iguana. And he gave some more like context to it and said that his finisher was the Shining Lizard. And he did like a shining wizard. So I don't know if he breaks that out IRL. I don't think he just does like head scissors and Hurricane Ranas and shit. So on Raw, some interesting things went down. And one of those things was Cody Rhodes getting exploded by his own pyro, Jeff Hardy style. You guys see that? They Goldberged him, man. Look at that. Boom. And the way he's sniffling, like, oh, my nose hairs are burned. One more time. Just look at that. That kind of rules, actually. But yeah, they just Goldberged his ass. Another thing that happened, and we broke this down live on Member Monday, but just to sort of follow up, Bronson Reed injured himself. Here's where he injured himself. So I broke this down again. It's like if you walk up to a punching bag and you throw a punch and you're like try to be all limp wrist about it, you're going to like tweak your hand. When you're a guy that size and in pro wrestling, you have to like fake hit him off of the pin. So like Bronson Reed's not flying in with like a flying punch to Americano's body or fucking, he's not actually laying the punch in. If he did, he probably wouldn't have blown out his fucking arm. But the fact he like has the rest of his weight pulling on this like limp arm touching this guy, just a weird freak accident. And that's where these injuries happen. That's when they happen. That's how they happen. It's always something like you don't even really notice at first. And then you're like, oh, fuck. The next day you're just all fucked up. So he hurt his shoulder, they were saying. I think it's actually his bicep they announced on the show. And you can see it here, his biceps jiggling big time. And you can kind of see like a bit of an indentation or something, I want to say. But also he's a chunky man. So I just don't know if, that could have just been skin. That's all I'm saying. But you can see it flopping around, and he's looking at him. He's looking at his bi or like his elbow. They thought it was his shoulder, whatever it was. He's like, something's fucked up. And he's just laying there, pain probably settling in once the adrenaline starts wearing off. And I wish him a speedy recovery. But Corey of bodyslam.net said they called an audible. Shenanigans were supposed to go down, and Reed was expected to go over in that qualifier. So I guess Bronson Reed was supposed to be in the Elimination Chamber. Again, I don't really know. That's all conspiratorial as of now on behalf of the dirt sheets, but it makes sense. I think it's like 5 baby faces and 1 heel, as chat pointed out during the Members Monday show. And it's just incredibly unfortunate. And yeah, the vision is just cursed. There's like a curse with it, an injury curse. But maybe it's just sort of to clear everyone out of the way and really focus on Braun and Logan Paul and Austin Theory like they should be. I like Bronson Reed, but I don't know if he's benefiting from the vision as much as everyone else is, type thing. So, I guess we'll believe the sheets for now. But yeah, they did announce that it was a bicep.
In that triple threat match to qualify for the men's chamber, Bronson Reed has suffered a distal biceps tear, and Bronson will be out indefinitely. Switching gears now to Saturday.
So he's missing that WrestleMania payday. Incredibly unfortunate. But we did get a AJ Styles tribute show on Raw as well, which was powerful. It was impactful, pun intended. It was awesome. And we had Frankie Kazarian on Raw, which is so just awesome to see. And we got Abyss in gimmick.
That man, Frankie Kazarian, who's had so many battles with AJ at TNA, and then Abyss is here, won the tag titles.
Can you guys believe that he walked away from fucking... They were going to bring him in. He was going to be Taker's WrestleMania opponent. And I don't know if they had him beating the streak, but he was going to go out there and wrestle Taker, and he backed out and stayed in TNA and stuff. And now he's like an excellent producer for WWE, an agent, whatever. I'm not sure his exact job title. I'd have to rewatch Unreal. But how unreal is it that Kazarian and Abyss are here having a little moment on Raw amidst this TNA partnership, and it's just cool to see. And Kazarian's going to have a job in NXT and producing and all that shit. And you see Borash, you see Bobby Roode, some of the guys that are backstage there, who are credited with doing some of WWE's top shit. And it was just really cool to see. The kid in me was marking out. Phil S. marking out over Abyss. And he was a tag champ with AJ Styles. AJ Styles trending right now, by the way, over Dynamite, which is crazy. And speaking of which, he laid the gloves down. It's official. He's going into the Hall of Fame, ladies and gentlemen. Chat, round of applause for AJ Styles. Thank you, AJ. His career. There's people butthurt about this. There's sickos who are mad about it because they wanted to see him wrestle Will Ospreay in a rematch from a decade ago when they're older and slower than they are. Like they can't even do the moves that they used to fucking do. Why do you want to see it again? It's just such old moves. But applause for AJ. And AJ definitely retiring. And I told you guys when I saw him on that Stephanie McMahon pod, and then he read that letter from his wife, And then she was in the front row and he dedicated everything to her. And it's like, yeah, you just go home to that. You know, she fucking held you down. You go hold her down and make appearances, work backstage, do your thing, show up in TNA here or there, become AJ Styles, the GM of Raw or something, where you can work super limited dates and things like this down the line. I bet things like that could be in the future. Like, he's definitely going to get in the ring again with his son one day. He's even said, never say never, but like, I'm done. Like, this run is done. And yeah, just go home, relax. He's been doing it forever. Dude, they had fucking Air Paris in the ring. They had fucking Air Paris in the ring showing him love. You can't tell me that Triple H isn't a goddamn Uber mark. He was like terrorizing. No, he was already out of there by the time Air Paris and Air Styles showed up. Yeah, but, you know, he was over there terrorizing. He understands what it's like to be grinding it out in WCW, and he's always been a mark for the TNA shit. Triple H has, so it's good stuff. And this is what AJ had to say after they did a podcast with him. This is what he said about WrestleMania and how it's not the right place to retire.
What was it?
Much like John Cena thought as well.
That was telling you.
Weird how the goats all think alike.
You Royal Rumble, not WrestleMania, 3 months later.
It was coming back from an injury to WrestleMania, to a match that didn't, to me, have much build. And WrestleMania, listen, I'm sorry to say, used to be the most prestigious PLE or pay-per-view, whatever you want to call it. But to me, it's kind of lost its luster a little bit. But as far as the Royal Rumble, well, that's special to me because that's where I made my debut. So to be able to end where I started.
Yeah, it's way cooler to like debut like a decade to the event. You can say to the day, I guess. But Rumble to Rumble, 16 to 26. That was the era of AJ Styles. That fucking rules. And that's awesome to call your spot like that. And that's like a cool, I don't know, it's like some Trivial Pursuit type shit, you know?
It's poetic.
It's poetic. It's just, it's legit one for the books. One for the fucking history books. So I love that. Moving along here. And yeah, the Raw tribute was muy emotional and all of that. Two superstars that we're used to seeing on Raw are AJ Lee and CM Punk. Maybe Punk more than AJ Lee, but AJ Lee and Punk kind of put over Seth Rollins and Becky a little bit here, even though there's kind of a personal gripe between both, I guess, husbands and wives in their own respects.
I love me some Becky.
Yeah.
I feel like it is, you know, an admiration. I think that we're very, very similar. I know I'm the best of my generation. I know she's the best of hers. So it's just sort of a morbid fascination of how can I beat the best and can I show that I can still go. So I love her and I respect her and I want to beat her pretty little face in.
Yeah, I'm just not, there's no heat on this AJ Becky thing. There was heat going into that tag match, and then that match, like, was what it was, you know? Wasn't that great. Wasn't that memorable, I guess. Like, just seeing Punk and AJ in there together was cool, but this match between Becky and AJ Lee, and we're going to preview Chamber a little bit here, there's just not a whole whack of a lot of heat. Like, I'm not overly hyped for it. And I'm kind of more interested in like, well, what are they going to do with AJ Lee at WrestleMania? Because this is, do you think she gets the belt? She might, you know, Maxine, I guess she's dealing with Natty. So Becky's in the clear. Does she cheat to win it? I just don't think that's the move. I think you get AJ Lee's name on that IC title. But then she's got to be a bit more of a workhorse than she's been. So we'll see. And then here's Punk putting over Seth Rollins.
Seth Rollins is a great example of that. You know, he's a guy that fit the same mold as I did. Didn't have the size. You wouldn't look at him and be like, oh, yeah, he's a world champion. And
shout out Unsportsmanlike and ESPN.
Now he's multiple-time, you know, heavyweight champion. And one of the, it pains me to say it, but he's one of the greatest superstars of the last 10, 12 years.
So what is he saying? I love me.
I mean, yeah, you can be objective about those things and also have a bit of a professional rivalry, maybe a bit of a personal rivalry as well. Those things are all allowed. They are not mutually exclusive. But on Raw Talk, which is a podcast that has nothing to do with WWE Raw, it's Bradley Martin's podcast. You guys know this guy? He's this like super jack guy who always is like, oh, I could beat you if we fought for real. And he says that to everybody, like MMA fighters and shit. And meanwhile, comedians have like wrestled Bradley Martin to the ground and shit. He's just a steroid abuser, for fuck's sakes. But anyways, he tried to shoot his shot with Liv Morgan. And she was revealing, she's like, I would choose the success over love. And she's okay. Like, she wants love in her life, but she's okay if she never gets like true love in this lifetime and stuff. And everybody do your own thing.
Emotional damage.
I was like, that's fucking sad, dude. Shout out Liv though, big fan. But yeah, I guess Bradley Martin shot his shot here.
You think I could be a wrestler?
I do.
Oh, that was fucking.
I do.
I would love to do it.
Give it a try.
I think I could beat Dom.
You think you can be Dom or beat?
Beat Dom.
I don't think you can beat Dominic, but I think you can be
Off
a wrestler.
rip. I think straight up first time.
Oh, the way she's like, fuck out of here, dude. Liv rules, and that's awesome that she just keeps kayfabe going with the Dom thing.
I'm trolling. I'm trolling. I think I'm gonna come in there and take you.
Take me what?
From him. I think the reason why you had no one else to say earlier because I wasn't there.
What do you mean?
Like if I was in it, then you would have said me.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah.
100%.
Easily.
You might be in for a rude awakening, pal.
Oh, look over, you're like, nah.
I would love to see Damian Priest fucking stretch this dude, or JD McDonough stretch this dude.
Yeah, that seems so fun though.
It's
like
a lot
wrestling.
of-
You think I could?
So in other Raw talk, I suppose, and other thirst cast situations, we had Trick Willie gang, Trick Williams, with his lemon pepper steppers. Okay, let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it.
And he was on the news or Wave, whatever the fuck this morning news show is. And he's doing press leading up to Elimination Chamber. And he, because of showings like this, he could be positioned as the face of WWE one day, as Wrestling News Co. points out, which I agree with. And these hosts talk about Thirstcast. These ladies, Lash Legend, gonna fucking double chokeslam these bitches because they get a little thirsty over Trick Willie.
In the studio is WWE superstar Trick Williams.
Oh, let's talk about it.
Making an entrance
Let's
here.
talk about it.
Trick.
How you doing?
That's how people, when you enter the stage, they
Whoop
say,
that-
whoop that Trick.
Whoop that trick all around the world. We global.
You're
Germany, London, Montreal,
That's
Saudi Arabia,
amazing.
everywhere.
Wow. So you've been all those places?
All those places, and we whoop that. You know, a lot of people don't speak English, but they know 3 words.
Whoop that Trick. They
Whoop
know
that
it.
trick. Let's
That's
talk
so
about
cool.
it.
Well, how in the world did you get into this? I mean, obviously, look at this. Did you?
He's such a throwback, but it's so refreshing and new to see like a throwback done properly, you know?
You always dress like this?
So you want to break down of the fit? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's talk about it. We got the mink coat. You know what I mean? Limited edition. You can only find it. Go ahead.
Very, ooh,
Don't hurt
yeah,
yourself now.
soft.
We got the pants, you know, very custom. It fits me just right. And then right here, we
the
call
boots.
this.
I love those boots. We need to show these boots. We
But
need
do you know what they call, Shannon? Olivia, you know what they call?
No.
The lemon pepper steppers. Stay with me. The lemon pepper steppers. Every single Friday, I step into your arena. I come into the Yum Center, the KFC Yum Center, with my lemon pepper steppers.
we need some of those. We never get to show off our shoes on air, but we need some lemon pepper stuff.
I like the swag though. I mean, you look, yeah, you know what you're doing. You know what you're doing.
Well,
yeah.
we got to kick it up a notch.
Let's talk
Okay,
about
so how did you get into this?
Oh man, so I played football.
Okay.
20 years. I played at high school. I went to Hampton University, transferred to the University of South Carolina. Then I went as a.
Oh, there you are. Playing football.
Yeah. How'd y'all find
Is
this?
that you?
How'd y'all find
Is
this?
that you catching
That's
it?
me.
29.
Hey, look, I'm still talking trash. Look at me.
Yeah.
Look, I'm the biggest trash talker since Muhammad Ali. I know we in Louisville. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know that's what I did. I taught.
Hell yeah, man. Trick is that dude. I mean, go and check out this whole clip. I'm not going to play the whole thing. Wave, whatever the fuck this is. But yeah, Trick is that dude. Let's skim through this a bit because he's money. Yeah, look at him. He's flexing.
Found a home there.
And then I found my home, and I've been wrestling ever since.
And you were just called up to the WWE main roster this year. I mean, it's only mid-February. What a year it's been for you. What's it been like to be joining the main roster?
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I mean, every single week I go out there, have the time of my life, excuse me. I travel the world with my lady Lash Legend. You know what I mean? We've been...
Oh, he's putting Lash over. These girls are jealous.
You know, out the country more times in January than we have our entire life. And man, the crowds are rocking. You know what I mean? We're whooping that Trick all over the world. The arenas are packed, just like they will be next Friday at the Yum Center, the KFC Yum Center. We're going to pack it out. We're going to have a good time.
That is so awesome. Now, do you always change what you wear?
I keep it pretty simple.
Yeah?
All white, because I am the anointed one. I'm anointed to do what I do. So, you know, we keep it all white.
I love it.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Awesome. Well, we will have to check you out next.
Yeah, you're goddamn right. Who sees a guy that charismatic, that entertaining, and you don't at least want to check out what is he doing here in town? You know, wait, what is that on TV? Speaking of what's that on fucking TV, here's a commercial with WWE stars LA Knight, Stephanie Vaquer, and Penta. And it's for Intuit TurboTax. Get your taxes done, folks.
I can sustain. Why am I comfortable with the pain?
So is she lip syncing there? I think she's lip syncing. Right?
I've got no one to blame for my unhappiness. No, baby. I got myself into my own mess.
No way. Maybe they're not.
These hours pass me by. Baby. Taxes was painful.
Don't you know this will change? This will go your way.
I'll take it from here.
Now taxes is a local turbo.
Now, does he get her to hit a cero miedo? Chat, yes or no? Does he fucking ones in the chat if you think he's going to get her to hit a cero miedo? There's 6 seconds left in this ad. If you think he's going to, ones. If you don't, twos. Let's go.
Tax expert ready to tag in and file for you.
No cero miedo. Oh, cero miedo, dude. I thought for sure she was going to be like, I'm not scared of these taxes. I ain't afraid of no ghosts. So, speaking of not being afraid, a lot of people are doom and glooming everyone about Vince McMahon quietly exploring WWE buyback with Saudi backing. Now, this has been debunked innumerable times, and not only that, but as Thirsty Thurston covered earlier in the show, as I talked about earlier in the show, Vince is like paying back money to WWE right now. So he ain't trying to get a job with them. He's paying them back money for the damages he's fucking caused. And maybe some people are seeing that and the dirt sheets just don't know what the fuck they're looking at. And so they interpret it as fucking he's trying to do a buyback with the Saudis. I just don't see that ever happening. And the Saudis already invest in TKO and UFC and shit. So like it's an investment for them to put on these events as it is. So again, the same way WB apparently owns a bunch of AEW, a significant amount, enough to where they have some pull. The Saudis, do they even have to disclose? Yeah, I guess because it's public. Everything's public with WWE. But if you follow the money. I bet there's like, have they not invested in it? UFC's already co-promoted events. So when they can just take it event by event, that's sort of the beauty of combat sports. And I think pro wrestling as well. Because Dana White was always like, I'll never co-promote. Like, he never got Fedor in the UFC because he's like, I'll never co-promote an event. But then he co-promoted with Saudi when it came down to it. So I don't think they need to buy WWE. They can just co-promote with it. And however they work that deal out, it seems to be beneficial for everyone involved. And Speaking of the UFC and WWE, come on down. 2025, they crushed it. So if you're a fan, if you're a TKO stockholder, if you're a fan of when WWE makes money, they made all the fucking money. So again, like a decade ago, Jim Cornette would be ranting and raving and talking about how UFC is the new WWE and they're outdrawn and they know how to do it right, and that's why they crush the pay-per-view and all that. Well, WWE was able to, and perhaps it has to do a little bit with, what did Mark Shapiro call it? FIPs? Flexible whatever it was. I'm going to butcher it, but FIPs. Full investment project. I don't even remember what it stood for, but basically they're rolling out all this new jargon and they're just nickel and diming fans everywhere they fucking can. That's part of the show. That's part of business, baby. It is unfortunate, but as long as they can keep doing it, it's going to keep happening. And on the WWE side, we're seeing the money be spent on WWE. Like, we're seeing the money when I watch the show. I can see by the stars, the frequency, the rate they're bringing, that the stars are featured, like Roman, and how often like we get AJ Lee's and CM Punk's, how often we get new signees like Hobbs and shit like that, the production, you know, the stages for the Royal Rumbles. Like, we're seeing the money. I know people were shitting on the Royal Rumble arena, but if they just lowered those lights like they have it at the Intuit, they would fucking, it would have looked fine. It's just the fact that they put the lighting above the people underneath the lights, you know, it just looked like no one was there. If they were just lowered at arm length, it would have looked good. So I thoroughly enjoyed the setup and the layout of the Royal Rumble in Saudi and all that. It was cool with me. I believe a Mania will be there fucking more times than people would like to. We're going to go back there, Night of Champions, Mania, SummerSlam, fucking, you know, they just did Rumble there. Everything's going to end up going there. So just be ready. Money in the Bank. Have they done Money in the Bank in Saudi? I'm not sure, but either fucking way, WWE beat UFC in like everything it brought in revenue-wise, which is incredible. And so UFC, and it's also incredible based on what WWE pays the wrestlers. In WWE, wrestlers are getting paid better than the fucking fighters in UFC. So UFC 2025 revenue, $1.502 billion. For media rights, production, and content, they brought in 900. I'm not going to break this all down. They brought in $1.502 billion. WWE, $1.709 billion revenue. Now, what was profit and all that shit? I don't know, but that's billion with a B, son. That's fucking, they could spend that and buy AEW. Shad Khan would sell it for $1 billion tomorrow. It ain't worth that at all. You know what I'm saying? I'm tired of hearing Dave melt down and talk about like you can't accomplish doing this either if you aren't putting on a good show. You don't accomplish generating 1.7, but and say what you will about UFC's efforts, but the best fighters fight there. So that's why they can get away with that shit. And the marketing is good as like not for individuals or individual events, but just the UFC in general. I don't know. It's gotten kind of lame. Dana White's kind of done some lame shit. Like, you know, teamed up with OnlyFans girls to try and push Power Slap and all this sort of shit. Like, that's just, it's gotten cringe, and he was hands off. You can tell he's way more passionate about boxing and whatnot, but look at what WWE's doing. Oh, it's just because they gouged everyone in the price of the tickets. Yeah, but they still sold that amount. Like, they still sold enough to do that. So, like, why? There has to be a reason. It's not because it's all just El Terrible, and it's the worst shit ever. So, their media rights, production, and content brought them in $1 billion. And they brought in 200 million more. Actually, almost 300 million more than UFC did. So that's incredible. And this is why people want to be in the WWE business. They all want to get their their piece of this pie, this 1 billion here, you know, $1 billion industry. Imagine that on Shark Tank. So good for WWE. Again, I don't really, in WWE, you see the money. In UFC, there's not much that they've done to really, like, at one point they had like Sinead O'Connor singing and fucking things like this. I don't know if you really get any spectacle type stuff. They weren't interested in Ronda versus Gina either, which they would have had to shill out money for. Because I just don't think they really give a fuck. And yeah, the White House card's costing them $60 million to put on the White House show. The Sphere show that they put on cost them $20 million. And they just signed Conor Benn for $15 million. So over there on the Zuffa side, I don't know if Zuffa boxing is actually, I'm sure it has something to do with TKO. I'm sure it does. Maybe not, though. But this is like big boy money here. And good for WWE. I guess that's all I'll say. I'm not like here fucking going to glaze them over this. But WWE in 2025 drove more than twice as much revenue as the best year Attitude Era adjusted for inflation. More than 4 times the inflation adjusted best year of Hogan Era. More than 4x the inflation adjusted best year of the Hogan Era 1990. So twice as much as the best year of the Attitude Era, adjusted for inflation. So the Attitude Era did that when fucking millions and billions were a whole other, $1 million was $1 million, as the old heads would say. So we take a look here. Their annual revenue, $29.6 million in 84. But look, though, by the time they're in the year 2000, they're making $377.9 million. Like, look at what inflation's done. You go to 2014, $542 million. So what's crazy is that with WWE, I mean, they've slowly just sort of gone up and up and up and up and up. If you want to look at revenue overall, WWE's just gone up and up and up and up and up since inception, really. I mean, it's had a few steps back, but by the Attitude Era, by 2008, they were recovered, at least making money. And that's, I mean, John Cena, obviously. Went down a little bit, went back up to $500 million. Like, that ain't bad at all. And then from $500 million, it's just climbed to over $1 billion, almost touching $2 billion annual revenue. So that's like decades on decades. Is that just, these E-drone retards who don't know, they're just getting suckered in for money? Is it that, or is it that, like, WWE's been consistent? There's just a bunch of crybaby bitches hating on it, trying to fucking completely destroy it for no fucking reason. The media's been co-opted and shit. I don't know, man. You decide. But here's what Tony Khan's response to this was.
But I have a lot more fucking money than Jim Crockett did. And I'm serious. I'm not going to sit back and take this fucking shit.
Dude, that's straight, like, just took a ripper and fucking, I'm not gonna take, I have to put this deep voice thing on because Phil Marks keeps making fun of me. Oh my God. Listen to that one more time.
But I have a lot more fucking money than Jim Crockett did. And I'm serious. I'm not going to sit back and take this fucking shit.
And then he looks around. Who's with me? Everyone's like, oh man, that's crazy, buddy. So WWE crushing it. And let's talk about Chamber here, guys. NordVPN.com/ProWrestleTimes. Lincoln Hawk for 5 says WWE is in a generational shift right now, and it's fun to watch. All of the NXT talent coming up and seeing NXT starting to make new stars is cool to see. Fuck yeah, dude. Right now, I think some of the most exciting shit is Obafemi, Trick Williams, and then yeah, like Ethan Page. She could fit in on either show. I think Julia looked really good being away from Kiana there a little bit. Stephanie, some people are kind of critical and harsh of her title run thus far, but I think it's been okay. I mean, neither of the women's title runs like Jade or Stephanie Vaquer has been great, but yeah, just the people who've been called up recently and then who are about to be called up, it's in good hands. Like there's so many good kids down there, and you have vets like JC Jane's a vet. JC Jane's a fucking vet, okay? So she's there. She can lead the pack for a little bit. You have Zarya coming in. Sol Ruka's got to be getting called up right away. Like she's main roster ready, big time. And I'm just pumped that also Stand and Deliver. I know I said it before, but Stand and Deliver's on its own day. That's way better. It gives them their opportunity to really shine, and you're starting to see the Evolve talent like bleed through because they're being developed properly as well. The future of pro wrestling's so good, including the people. Because listen, in like 7 years and shit, there will be people who spent 5 years in WWE, Evolve, and NXT developmental, then decide to leave and show up in AEW and do good shit for them if AEW's around. And that will be beneficial to all of these companies. It will only benefit all of pro wrestling, and you can thank Triple H for that. But people will never do that. They'll just keep hating on him because he's on a fucking video game cover. So, Hangman Cowboys coming out. We might have to listen into this, folks. Dynamite so far, not so good. The crowd is... It's like half of them are loud, half of them don't know what the fuck they're even type of event they're at and don't know any of these wrestlers. And then... I don't know, the matches just weren't it. Like El Clone with Moxley going too long. Moxley just wrestling like a lazy bum. And then you have Orange Cassidy doing all that dumb shit with Gabe Kidd. Like Gabe Kidd fell off harder than anybody. He fell off harder than anybody. So I'm just pulling up. We're going to talk about Elimination Chamber. I just want to pull up the card here. Okay, we got a video of Paul Heyman texting Killer Cross, the MLW World Champion, during an interview, mid-interview. Maybe check that out in a bit. But yeah, let's pull up this Elimination Chamber card. So, you guys, should we listen in? Should I call the action here? Let me call the action while MJF and Hangman go at it here. And let's just listen into what they're saying. This episode of Dynamite has not been as... this Dynamite is not as good as the last few have been. I agree. I fully agree with that. I don't know this... Bel Segura is part of Tokyo Bad Boys, okay? AEW is the same shit every week. So interesting what Zuffa Boxing TKO is doing in the boxing world. They're pissing a lot of traditional folks off. Yeah, but I just think like they're being chumps about it. Like Connor Ben, okay. What the fuck does that do? Who's that guy? 15 million. Now all the UFC fighters are going to fucking resent Dana and just they're all going to be begging him to get into his boxing league. Because it is a league. And it's a one fight deal. So let's say he gets starched and then Dana just throws him to the wolves, or he's going to get paid way less. Or let's say Conor Benn wins and then he goes, fuck you, Dana, I'm going back with Eddie Hearn. You know, it's like, it's just stupid. It's fucking, I don't like it. But it's good that boxing got a kick in the ass. I'll say that much. Like, at least it's got a kick in the ass, and like people are gonna, again, competition makes people rise to the occasion and stuff. So if you smoke dope, you'll go broke. They're chanting weed, 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 weed. This is just like a super mark indie fed, dude. What is this stipulation, chat? I'm putting a poll in the chat. YouTube.com/Pro Wrestle Times, or Pro Wrestle Clips, pardon me. YouTube.com/@Pro Wrestle Clips. Well, he's flipping a quarter, so I guess we won't do that, but I'll end the other poll. Guys, there's 125 watching. Let's get those likes up to 100. Coming to explain, doing a run-in on the show to explain to you how important 100 likes are. Chris Jericho.
I look and see it's not just me. So many others have stood where I stand. We are the young, so raise your hand. They call us problem child. We spent our lives on trial. We walk an endless mile. We are the youth gone wild. We stand and we won't fall. We're one and one for all. The writing's on the wall. We are the youth gone wild. Let it get wild. Yeah.
So MJF is saying like, hey, this is the classic. You can get disqualified, but I can't get disqualified. 71% of you guys are not watching Dynamite tonight. Crazy.
Wrestling's not fake!
That's nutty. But shout you guys out. So, like, some of the people are chanting cowboy shit. There's just no real... It's like the fans are confused or something. So, Hangman's like, Texas death. It'll change you. Texas death. I know all about it. I'm from Utah. And then he's just talking about all the bullshit he's going to do. Broken glass. All of the shit nobody wants to see. I'll tear your flesh off. Talking about the barbed wire. Here, I have Dynamite card, by the way. Tear his what apart? I'll take your title too. Do you guys hear him whispering? The 70% of you not watching Dynamite, how dare you? You guys fell off. That's the problem. That's the goddamn problem. Not with you. But that's just the overarching problem. People just fall off. I swear, like a year ago, the numbers wouldn't have been that much. 30%, Brian, like 30% more of you, Brian, would be watching AEW right now. You don't stand a chance. Truly, he's trying to sound tough. You don't stand a chance. Even your dog shit idea. And now they're chanting dog shit. Oh my God. They just chant any cringy. Any new swear word. We heard swear words before. We heard swear words before. I swear. I heard my mommy say that driving once to an old lady. Piece of shit chant, piece of shit, piece of shit. It's like, oh, come on now. That's not very fair. Jamie Sheen became a YouTube member. Guys, memberships are only 99 cents. You can gift a membership too. It's the gift that keeps on giving. And Member Mondays goes down on Mondays. We watched Raw last Monday, and we acknowledge
me.
Members here at PWT. Thank you so much. Yeah, Hangman's cringing me out. They flip a coin. A one-way no DQ match, so obviously Hangman's winning. You couldn't stooge it any harder, right? You couldn't stooge
The
this
best
any
guy is
harder.
Tony Khan.
Because there was already it's a trick quarter. So Hangman's such a dumbass he didn't examine the coin first. What a stupid idiot. And what type of message are they trying to send?
Idiot.
What are you saying, Tone? That Jews use trick coins
guy
to
is Tony
trick
Khan.
people? That's racist.
You are racist.
That's unacceptable, dude. What type of message are you fucking sending to your audience, Tone? Whoa, what? Just because he's Jewish, he's got a fake fucking coin? What kind of storyline is this? So the whole thing is this, right? Hangman, because there's already the stip that if Hangman fucking loses, he can't ever challenge for the title, and it's a one-way DQ, but I think it's going to change to Texas Death. I'm okay. I like the rigged coin, and so it's because of that. But like, does it nullify the coin toss? Why don't you get a general manager out there, somebody in charge of things on this fucking show to come out and go, it's nullified. I just talked to Tony Khan. The coin is nullified. It was a fake coin. It was a trick. It was a trick coin, whatever. I don't like the way they executed this. The premise of like, it's a trick coin. Okay, I'm all good with that because then the heel thinks he gets his way, but then you need, like, Tony Schiavone just gets to go, well, this coin toss doesn't count. It's two grown men in the fucking ring. Like, who's in charge here? Where does the buck stop? So now MJF just agrees to that. I'd just be like, no, you're not the boss, Tone. The other Tone is the boss, you know? You're not the boss of me now. I'd be like, nope, you agreed to the coin toss. I didn't say fucking it was going to be a legal coin. That'd be my argument. So their execution was so poor on this. However, like, the idea was there to get them to like, oh, MJF's in this match he doesn't really want to be in. But Adam Page has to win this shit now. You know what I'm saying? Like, they almost booked it to where it's so obvious he's going to win it back. And MJF's going to fuck off for 6 months again to film a movie or something. So good for him. But anyways, let's get into let's get into so our Rabid Wolverine LC Killer 17 for 5 says, I buy tickets for next week's Dynamite and now I'm regretting it. Oh, buddy. Oh, the price is wrong. Oof. That was fucking rough, man. The execution. Okay, the Brawling Birds are sweet. I like them. But it's just the Brawling Brutes, but they cut promos. But again, it's just another team talking shit backstage in front of some chain link, and I don't care. Yeah, we know that they fight. We know they don't give a fuck. We know nobody gives a fuck tone. We know that everybody likes to fight in AEW. What now? What more? Now build off that. And now their catchphrase is, we don't give a flying fuck, and you have to censor it out after Hangman said shit 18 times. I'm not a mamby-pamby. I say fucking shit and cock more than anybody on my show. Okay? But the whole thing is like, you have to... It's on TV. This isn't the Rizzlers on this show sometimes, buddy. I don't know. God damn it. There's got to be a balance. So... either way, execution a little poor. This Dynamite's been a lot weaker than the last couple weeks. And yeah, that's what I'm thinking so far. So let's get into let's talk about Elimination Chamber. We did not finish talking about the Elimination Chamber and doing a quick little preview of that. And so the Elimination Chamber in Chicago, this is as of 4 hours ago, and the last update was 5 days ago. So it'll be over a week from then in the days until the show, which is 3. So the total number of seats on map are 19,000. They've sold 15,000. The setup's 17. I bet they're already at the 17, or they'll just do over the 17, and it's more or less a sellout if you don't want to count the last couple thousand tickets, which wrestling companies don't seemingly do that anymore, but I guess we will here to keep everyone fair. So good job. Dave Meltzer wants to say it's WWE's not at its peak anymore, and WWE's not as popular. That's literally what the fuck he said.
It's the greatest thing I've ever seen.
And again, people are like, why didn't Cena do a 50,000 seater? Because he didn't want to. He also set a record with the gate he did with 16,000 or whatever. You guys are fucking dumb and don't understand how this business works. Shut the fuck up, you fucking marks. So the Chamber, which guys, I will not be watching the Chamber with you guys, unfortunately, on Sicko Saturday. I'm going out of town for a bit. Gonna relax and I'm going to jump on. I'll review it on Sunday or maybe on Memba Monday. So get a membership or gift a membership or become a member on Patreon or whatever the fuck. And by the way, PWT podcast episode 102 will be dropping tomorrow on YouTube. Early access to the new PWT pods. And I'm bringing interviews back. I'm going to get some folks on the show. I don't like bothering people, but I'm going to bring back I'm going to get some wrestlers back on and shit like that again. Okay. It'll be a fun time. So yeah, make sure you're locked in for all that. But the Chamber's going down Saturday, and I'm excited for it. I have to watch it on Sunday, though. Your boy Phil's got to watch it on Sunday. And just starting from the bottom, or should we do the men's and women's chambers last is what we'll do. So we'll start with the women's IC, because I guess if we're going, the men's world heavyweight is sort of the main event if the chamber matches aren't. So Becky Lynch versus AJ Lee. I mean, again, we talked about this earlier, chat. It's just there's no heat on this. Like the tag match had more heat. The tag match was what it was. It wasn't that great. And then now this doesn't have as much heat, and it seems like AJ Lee's going to win this thing and carry it into Mania, because you kind of want her name in the history books on the Wikipedia page on the cagematch.coms or whatever the fuck of AJ Lee holding this IC title. You would think that this match would have had more heat and been like a Mania match, And who knows, like maybe they build up to, instead of doing like a multi-man ladder match. Well, you know that they like to bail out on the ladder matches and do the multi-man, but I would love to see like 2 women get a shot to have a banger of just like a one-on-one ladder match. Like, you guys know what I'm talking about. Razor Michaels, Edge Cena, Van Dam Jeff Hardy. Like, let's see 2 ladies have see Io Sky and someone have a banger of a fucking one-on-one women's ladder match. I don't know if they've been given that opportunity yet. So, like, who knows what they're building to at Mania with all of this. But I would say I don't lock my picks in. I think AJ Lee's going to win it and take it into Mania as champ and then maybe put someone over at Mania. Who knows? Maybe it'll be a multi-woman ladder match or some shit, though, for the IC. Like WWE, every year they do one of those to fit guys on the shows, right? And I'm not necessarily mad at that, but I would say this match has less heat somehow. And I just think it's because AJ's not that present. So I'm least interested in that. Now, this one, I've heard rumors, I've heard allegedly that people were like, in WWE, I guess, even were like, why the fuck would we book this? It was a point of contention, like, why book this? Someone could get hurt. Like, why risk getting Punk hurt in Chicago before WrestleMania and shit? I don't know if that's true or not. That's just, again, rumors and innuendo. People talk a lot of shit online. But CM Punk, I think, will defend this title. So that means Finn isn't going to come out as the demon. Now, if Finn comes out as the demon, you can't just beat the demon. So I've been predicting that Finn is going to want to put JD McDonough over or put him in a WrestleMania payday position. That's his guy. So do we get JD versus Demon Finn, or is that not the right opponent? A lot of people scoff at JD. Like, come on. You know, there's 100 other guys. You know, Royce Key should be on the pay-per-view over fucking JD. But you can tell there's some sort of JD's going to usurp the Judgment Day, I believe, at least. Like, JD McDonough is playing this ultra good guy. I'm sorry, Finn, right? On Raw, he's all apologetic and I shouldn't have listen, bro. I shouldn't have done this and da 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 da. And then obviously Finn's breaking off and he's using his old theme and he'll be the demon one more time. He's going to retire too in the next, like, what, 2 years? How long did he sign on for? It was like his last long-term deal. I think they dirt sheets, again, you don't know if it's true or not. They said like 5 years or something. And that was what, 3 years ago now or something like that. So, and maybe my timeline's off on that, but either way, Finn he doesn't have too much long left and he can still go like a motherfucker. So obviously they want to put him in world title positions. It's someone Punk wants. They did the first match in Ireland. I believe it was in Ireland, right? So let's see the rematch in Chicago, trading home turfs. I like that. But it's like Finn's just going to take an L and Punk's could risk getting fucking injured before Mania. Why would you risk this? Now, I understand the Rumble. Like, everyone's in the Rumble. You can kind of safely get knocked out of the ring, but you know they're going to try and outdo their last match. So I don't mean to be a hater,
come on now,
but
Eric.
I don't know how I feel about even them doing this rematch right now, but it will be a banger, and the crowd's going to go insane for Punk, and Finn fucking rules. But again, not too much heat on this. It seems like Punk is sort of overlooking Finn and just talking Roman. And unfortunately, that doesn't help get Finn over. That doesn't help get people interested in this match as much as it does. And granted, Punk's good at tying it together, but it doesn't get people as interested in this match as it does the Mania match. So obviously Punk's defending. So this PLE feels a little predictable. And that's why I think in the chamber, they're going to get us. Like, there's going to be one of the winners of one of these chambers I think we won't see coming. That's what she said. Oh, good. So, the women's chamber. We have Tiffany Stratton. What? We have Rhea Ripley. What? We have Alexa Bliss. What? We have Asuka. What? We have Kiana James. What? And we have Raquel Rodriguez. So out of all these ladies, who's going to take on Jade? You have 2 options, I think, that are the obvious choices. Not even that they're obvious, but just two choices that make sense. So obviously the Bella Twins versus Rhea and Io at WrestleMania for the tag titles. 4 huge names. This thing was just released today that the Bella Twins, so their Twitter is a combined Twitter, but their Instagrams are separate. And Nikki Bella has the most of any WWE diva, and then, or women's wrestler, however you want to fucking phrase it. I don't think the women these days, I think they enjoy being called divas as well. Honestly, I think the majority of them have tremendous respect for that era of women's wrestling. That aside, Brie Bella is in second place with followers on Instagram behind Nikki. So that's actually huge. I didn't even know that. And let me tell you something, in Hollywood and shit, in the mainstream, daddy, that's what they give a fuck about nowadays. Like, you literally will get roles in movies because of your Instagram following, or your agents will tell you, hey, post thirst traps till you get to 1 million followers on IG, and then delete them all, and then fucking whatever. Like, they lay out game plans. You got to get to 1 million. They have, Nikki has like 15 million, Brie has like 8 million or something like that. So my picks for this chamber, not to get off on a tangent, but I think Rhea and Io are going to take on, because they're the two top names in women's wrestling, I'd say, in WWE right now, as far as like stars. It's those two versus the Bella Twins for the tag titles at Mania. So it's either got to be Stratton, because she has unfinished business with Jade. They've gone at it in the past, and you go back to that. Or it's got to be Raquel Rodriguez. And the story there is that Liv is challenging Vaquer, and then Raquel would be challenging Jade. And Jade and Raquel are both kind of in that tweener spot. As I broke this down on Memba Monday, Raquel is sort of finding her independence a little bit from Liv and Roxanne. Like, you can kind of see she's sort of teetering. There's a lot of people sort of teetering in the Judgment Day, which has been great stuff, but she can be the badass that stands up to Jade, who's kind of bullying her locker room. But Jade, you don't really boo her because she's doing like overly heelish shit. She's just a badass who's bullying the locker room and beating everyone, and who's really, she's that bitch, you know, and you kind of like, it's like badass in a stone cold way. Yeah, she's the heel, but ultimately you have two people who are, you'll cheer for their power spots and shit, and you'll cheer for both these ladies. I could see it being Raquel versus Jade. And then you have Liv versus Stephanie, and then that creates more of a divide there. Maybe one of them wins the belt and the other one doesn't, and then you get a feud for that belt after Mania between whatever the fuck. Or maybe they just trick us out of nowhere and it's like Kiana James wins. I doubt that. I think she's there to do the spot where she eats everyone's finishes and then gets pinned, you know? Raquel's going to like Tahana bomb her through a fucking glass thing and pin her. You know, she's there to take some crazy spot and then get pinned out where she just eats 10 moves, and then so it kind of keeps her strong. And then I just don't see Asuka or Alexa Bliss winning this at all. I don't see that happening at all. I think those are the two odd gals out. And again, I'll lock in my pick on the night of, but because there's still some more wrestling to consume, I guess, on SmackDown. But I'm going with Raquel as of now, because I don't think they want to go back to Tiffy right away. Although you could go the Tiffany Stratton route, because she's like the star you've been building for how many years now, like in NXT. Not even that long of a time. She's accomplished a shitload of stuff, but you've been building her. She's like your A player. She's your main girl, but she is going away for a fucking bodybuilding competition as well. So how much will that interfere with her pro wrestling? And is that like, what's her plan for Mania? If not, they got to have a big plan for Tiffy. So that's why I'm kind of weird in that one. The men's chamber. So I'm pumped for this. Obviously, Javon is going to flip off of stuff. He's going to climb the cage. He's going to do a fucking cutter off the pod. He's going to, do all the crazy shit. I think Trick Williams is going to get a bunch of eliminations. Like, he'll eliminate 2 or 3 guys. But I don't know if he's going to win it. But that's the guy I want to win it. If I'm just being a mark, I want to see him fucking win it and go all the way. Jey Uso apparently wasn't even supposed to be in this fucking match. And again, we have 5 baby faces and 1 heel in Trick Willie. And then you have LA Knight, who, again, you could argue.
Let's talk about it.
He toes the line. So I don't like to throw the word tweener around too much because LA Knight, clearly everyone cheers for him and pops for him and he's a babyface. But again, he's the kind of guy where he'll just BFT the shit out of Punk. Yeah, he'll team with him, but he'll just like BFT a good guy. He doesn't really, just walks alone. He's one of those I walk alone guys. So he can maybe get away with a bit of heelish shit, but yeah, it seems like Auszilla was supposed to be in there. Does it not? Or maybe this was the plan the whole time and Trick, I think he's going to pin out like 3 guys and he'll look really good. I don't expect much from Jey Uso. They might swerve the dirt sheets and have Jey Uso be in like the final 2 though. I could see them doing something like that. But I think it's pretty obvious Rhodes is going to win this thing and he might do some dirty shit to Orton or to Jay, his former tag partner, in order to win. Like I could see him just doing a blatant low blow or I pushed Jey Uso into an RKO, which is kind of heelish. Like Rhodes does kind of heelish shit and he's been like using chairs and it's just that subtle tease. So I think in the chamber, a la John Cena, we will see either maybe not a full-blown heel turn because it's to fight Drew. So not a full-blown heel turn yet, but we'll see another step in that direction from Rhodes as far as like, I'm going to push, like Uso, my former tag partner, into Orton, RKO. Everyone's like, what the fuck? And then me and Randy settle it or whatever. The crowd's going to say, because LA Knight's not winning this, and they're going to say that he's getting buried more, or not the crowd, pardon me, like the IWC and whatnot. And Cody Rhodes, I think, is going to walk away the winner of this one. I think it's almost too obvious. That's the problem. And I feel like this Elimination Chamber is very predictable. Now, one of the positives of WWE overall lately, and I would say why they're able to generate all the revenue they've generated and whatnot, right? All the metrics, however you want to stack it up. You genuinely at these PLEs, you don't know who's going to show up. You don't know who's going to fucking turn on who. They've sort of added that element again. Like back to wrestling in a way where, I mean, think about just a year ago at the Chamber, right? And you get a lot of slow burns again. They see the value in what they did with Roman Reigns, and you get like a more drawn out feud between Rhodes and McIntyre, and you get the heel turn from Rhodes. Like it's not just one action, he's a heel. It's like a series of things. It builds up and they tease it for so long, and then the payoff is. So they've sort of figured out a new way to do old tricks. But one thing WWE's been doing really well that I've been putting them over for is things are just unpredictable. Like you genuinely, a lot of these matches, you don't know who's going to win when it comes to the PLEs. They've been keeping us on our toes. I feel like this Chamber, all 4 matches are kind of, and obviously it's the Chamber, you got to throw out a couple options, but I just feel like they're all, other than the Women's Chamber, which I think will be the curveball. That'll be like, Kiana James pulls it off and we're all like, oh shit. I think it would be shocking if Raquel won, because I just don't know if people, like, you probably think Rhea or Bliss or fucking, because Bliss always gets put in these opportunities and whatnot, like in the Rumble and stuff. But I just think her and Charlotte might throw down, or is that too soon? Maybe it's a 3-way tag title match, the Bellas versus Rio versus Bliss and Charlotte, but I just see them doing Rio being involved with the Bellas, obviously. The Bellas come back. They're both part-timers. Brie comes back. They go, yeah, we want the tag titles. And then they're just haven't been on Raw since. Obviously, they're just going to creep in at Mania time and get the shot. So either way, I think Rhodes is walking out, and I'm excited for Chamber. I'm pumped. And that, ladies and gentlemen, was WWE News and Phil Marks Elimination Chamber. We have some AEW hot news to get into. Let's switch over here. Everybody hydrate. It's a stretch break. Body break for all you Canadians out there. No? Excited for Chamber. Laughing. Yeah, I am, dude. I get excited for it every year. I like Rumble, Chamber, Mania. It's a fun time. I'm just interested to see like what Javon's gonna do. I'm gonna love Finn and Punk. I already know it because I just like those guys can't have a bad match together. Maybe they can. Maybe someone blows a quad or something and it's just terrible and it gets called off. And then I think the women's chamber, yeah, they're going to swerve us in some way or I don't know. But just Becky versus AJ Lee, I could give a shit less. I got to be honest. Like, zero heat on that match. Speaking of heat, though, like, what are the crowd like chant? What was the crowd just chanting? Chat, like, were they dual chanting against each other? Like, it seemed like the chant was battling with each other there, or the crowd was battling with each other. Sorry. What's Brody King doing? Oh, he glommed him. Isn't that in a foreign object? That hand cast? What is that? Who's he got? Carpal tunnel, ref? Is that thing regulation? How funny would it be if Punk hurt himself going to Mania? Haha, what will they do? Call The Rock back? I don't know. That wouldn't be funny. Yeah, I really don't like... I'm with you on that. I don't know why you'd have Punk wrestling at the Chamber, do the contract signing between him and Roman. Like, we already know that's the match. It's being advertised. Yet the world title's on, you know, but like, I wouldn't risk Punk. If I was booking the thing, I would not be risking Punk in a match. Maybe there's a schmoz, though. Like, maybe some shit happens where the match doesn't get completed because Roman interferes and because Punk's been talking a lot of shit. I don't know. She was down after that. They brought her to the back. Oh no, who's hurt? The crowd is weird tonight for Dynamite. It is. It's like half of them are confused, like they don't know where they are. Like that Davis is selling the hand from last week. Yeah, Davis and Doyle rule. Penelope hurt her leg on the moonsault. Oh no. Oh no. Yeah. Okay. We have ladies and gentlemen, let's all hydrate here. I got some iced coffee. Pardon me, everybody. Ichi Nissan Da all together. Ichi Nissan Da. As if we were one in honor of AI Inoki. Antonio Inoki. AI. Well, why don't you tell me why that's a coincidence? I'm in the Baja. The cartel got upset. They raided where I live in the Baja. Recently, Puerto Vallarta. Why don't you tell me why his initials are AI and he has an AI robot being made of Antonio Inoki?
Sure thing, bro. Sure thing.
Let's get into Ichi Nissan. I'm retarded. For AEW. And of course, the best guy is
Tony Khan.
Patreon.com/Pro Wrestle Times. So we had some stuff go down on Collision and Dynamite. One thing happened here. FTR just grabbed Malachi Jackson, who is the Young Bucks' younger brother, I guess, and they gave him a spike pile driver right in front of his brothers, Matt and Nick, the Young Bucks. Jack Perry tried to run in, but got taken down by Ricochet. What a chaotic ending to Collision. Holy fucking shit. My only problem with this is they were doing this with Edge and Christian. Then there was no fucking payoff, right? They Beth Phoenix got pile driven, pause, by FTR in front of Edge and Christian, and they couldn't do anything about it. And then there's no fucking payoff. And then they do this to the Bucks. They just go right back to it. They do it to the Bucks' brother in front of them. Now there will be a payoff with for the match that a lot of people aren't that hype on. But it just seems like we're doing a repeat to get something over that couldn't. The Bucks, at least they stepped in for Edge and Christian, I guess, who just fucked off because everyone just fucks off on Steamboat Tone all the time. But either way, let's take a look at this. So there's some pushing and shoving.
You can't put your hands.
And then he spit at Stokely. And we're going to get fucking Aubrey Edwards, Don Stevens here. Unlike TNA, who lets you play their clips now. Some of them. But yeah, they spike pile drive this younger brother, and then Ricochet runs out to get involved just because. Well, actually, he's feuding Jack Perry. Like, look at this dumb shit. And then Ricochet I cut him off. Ha 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 ha. Then I run off because shit just happens in AEW. And then, they spike pile drive him. He takes it well. Selling his ass off there. And I'll be honest, the Bucks in this role is better than what they were doing before. They just need to stick to this one thing the one thing that's ever worked for them. I just think that's the move. It's like Ricky Dragon Steamboat, just fucking be baby faces and just power through it like Cena, even if they're booing you, and just do your fucking flips and super kicks. And FTR, they're doing their thing. I mean, will these guys have an all-time match for the ages, Brian? Yeah, Dave's going to splooge fucking everywhere when this match goes down. But
oh my God, it's the greatest thing I've ever seen.
I just think people are like, okay, everybody's just treading water here. Like everybody's just spinning tires stuck in the mud. No one's progressed. Like we're just the same guys are in the title picture. It's the same thing. MJF's got something coming up, so he's going to drop the belt and fucking leave for a while. It's some sort of death match. Moxley, before he was in the Death Riders, he just held a belt hostage. He was a babyface, then he holds a belt hostage, drops the belt, then he's just trying to be a babyface with this Continental belt, holding it hostage. I don't know, man. Everybody just seems to not be progressing in any way. And other than maybe Davison Doyle and Brody King, maybe they've advanced a little bit. Brodito happened, which genuinely got over, I think, with some people. But instead of Brodito, it's the Bucks and FTR, and this is going to be their last hurrah. So I'm glad they at least tried to get some heat on that thing, spending a lot of time on the Bucks there. But we move along. Nick Wayne finally returned to ROH as the reigning World Television Champion during tonight's TV tapings in California. And a lot of people get triggered by no title defenses when it comes to WWE. And they're always like, oh, well, why isn't Jade defending her belt and all this shit? And where's this guy? Where's been Nick Wayne defending his fucking title? And I talked about people taking off on Tone. Adam Copeland and Christian Cage have both been gone for 6 months. Brian Cage has been gone for 11 months. Britt Baker, 15 months. Buddy Matthews, a year. Chris Jericho, 10 months. Jericho's almost been gone a year. Hikaru Shida, wait. Yeah, it'll be 1 year in April for Jericho. April Fool's Winnipeg Dynamite. That's all I'm saying. I think he swerved everyone. Hikaru, so that means this clip stays around forever. This bit never dies.
I look and see it's not just me. So many others have stood.
Hikaru Shida's been gone for 15 months. Jay White's been gone 11 months. Keith Lee, 26 months. And then Nyla Rose, 15 months. doing that fucking pod with Excalibur and Aubrey Ed, but just not used. Like one of their first women's world champions, just not used at all. Sheeta, one of their earliest women's world champions, probably had the best run with the title. Hasn't been there in 15 months. Britt Baker hasn't been there in 15 months for no reason. For no reason. What's the reason, Lex?
I don't know.
Me neither. So, moving along here. On Dynamite and ROH, on the topic of Dynamite and ROH and whatnot, Dynamite in El Paso, Texas on March 4th is set up for 2,600 and has done about 2,000 tickets. So again, this crowd, I'm not sure how many people are there, but they're drawing around 2,000 to 3,000 people. And that's about the extent of it. So Ring of Honor is set to start filming at WJCT Studios in Jacksonville this Sunday. So again, are they going to resurrect Ring of Honor? Like, is it going to be a weekly YouTube thing? Are they going to start doing, like, taking this seriously? ROH could realistically become their NXT. Now's the time to do it. And Tone just doesn't know what the fuck he's doing with any of it, but they're going to start filming there. So in the ratings talk, the boring stuff that we all love, Dynamite on Wednesday did 692,000.12 in the key demo, Brian. So yeah, they're doing, I mean, they have a bit more viewers. Again, Fightful rounded this up to like 700,000. They did almost 700,000 and shit. They clearly have all the sheets co-opted. We're going to get into that in a minute. But if we go back just a few years, I mean, this is pretty fucking bad. But if you want to say like 600 to 700,000, I mean, NXT is still beating Dynamite and whatnot. And TNA is not really close yet. In the battles with Collision, they're doing their thing, but they're not quite in the conversation. And I will say this, if NXT and Dynamite ratings are up, good. It's unfortunate if you've been like, yeah, I'm back into Dynamite now, and then you turned on this week's episode. I don't know. Tony can only keep it going for so long. And even the Dynamites that we're saying were a bit better over the last few weeks and that I've been saying have been better, it's like they're still not, it's a little lengthy in the matches and there could be a little bit more there, right? The Brawling Birds, like, they don't need to just be cutting promos in front of chain link fences. Like, you can do something different. We just saw the Tekla and the Sisters of Sin doing that shit. That's what they do all the time. So how about you go over there now, and now you let them be over here now. Like, you let them go over there and do their thing and figure out what that thing is, you know, and get into real personal issues with people. But I mean, they're around the 700K mark. Good stuff. And so Collision did a 470,000.08. So Collision, again, has done ratings like 120 some thousand and stuff to close out last year. They're doing around 470,000. So for the Grand Slam Australia, they did like 570,000 or whatever the fuck. So only 100,000 less people on Saturday tuned in to see the follow-up to that. And I mean, that's pretty good. Now, I think this proves what I've been saying and what everybody has been saying, that the numbers aren't what Dave's saying they are on Max. Because how the fuck are there still this many people on cable and you expect me to believe there's 500,000 people streaming the shit? Like, even if you want me to believe that they've grown on streaming the last couple of years that they've been on streaming on HBO Max, as far as what their viewership is on HBO Max, I still don't believe they've even grown into 500,000 people watching them. So, and again, I'm not trying to diminish AEW. I'm trying to put them over here. Let's see them maintain and expand a bit on these ratings. Whether you like the shows or not, something's happening. Wrestling's popular again. Their ticket sales, though, this is why I don't believe in max numbers, because everything else just doesn't reflect that shit. Only the things that Dave can fucking make up, Dave Meltzer can invent, the pay-per-view buys and the HBO Max numbers. Those are the two things that if those are up, then it's just like a weird anomaly where their attendances are the shits and down year over year. You know what I mean? Like there's some anomaly going on in the wrestling business where everything's up and they have 1 million watching, but people just aren't going to shows because they can't afford $30 tickets. Like the tickets are $30. That doesn't even make
poor
sense.
People don't like AEW.
So we just need those numbers because there's no way that the live attendance doesn't reflect this surge in popularity across the board. And, whereas in WWE, it does reflect that with their ability to charge and to fucking nickel and dime and to sell shitloads of tickets. And when I say nickel and dime, I just mean like they're putting fees on fees now, dude. They're ticket mastering people. Like, this has gone too far. We need to put a stop to this. Okay. I'm not saying boycott the Fed, but like, goddamn. People, we need and they took away our house shows and they took away our cheap house shows. Come the fuck on, where you drive to the town over and there's a fucking 1,000 people there or whatever. Come on, man. You got to be fucking me. You got to at least bring those back. You got to at least hit the road with NXT. So yeah, AEW, they're doing the thing, man. I'm trying not to be so harsh on them. Niccolo Piccolo recently just said, like, whatever happens with WB, they're cooked. Like, if it's Paramount, they're just going to get rid of AEW. And so maybe he's wrong about all that shit. I don't know. PWT Podcast 102. I talk about that with JJ Alexander. It's going to be out tomorrow. Make sure you guys check it out. Patrons get early access to it. It's up there right now. Patreon.com/ProWrestleTimes. And PWT Pod, we dive deep in all the Niccolo Piccolo, Tony Khan stuff. And we do talk about a little bit of, sort of some of the stuff he's predicted or been spot on about. But anyways, we move along here. AEW has filed to trademark a new tag team name, Paid in Full. So I wonder who's going to be in that tag team, right? It's curious. Eddie Kingston is not at tonight's Dynamite taping in Denver, and he also pulled himself off this weekend's independent events. Eddie has been dealing with severe migraine headaches and is tending to his health. Yeah, I don't know what Eddie's up to. I would just say start eating really clean and fucking start working out a lot. And that could just be like a first step that you can control, Eddie Kingston. Like, that's just something anyone can do where you can control that, right? Like, you can fucking, okay, I'm not going to eat like shit for the next, for like the next month. And I'm going to fucking drink lots of water and just really focus on like, doing my squats, getting some push-ups in the morning or whatever. So I would just do that and rest if that's what's happening. But this dude ain't staying healthy. He came back, had like a match. Angel Ortiz popped up for it. He's back in the Shadow Realm too. Fuck is going on with Tone, The
best guy's Tony
Khan.
Khan.
That. That's my criticism of that. What's going on with Tone? Like, where the fuck? So in other trademark news, MJF trademarked Big Hebrew. So good for him. Mercedes Monea is launching a Monea Wear auction on her official website featuring authentic pieces from her wardrobe that she wore during her 15-year career. Merchant TV shirts, signature jewelry, wigs that she wore, wrestling shoes. And that's via the Monet Mag. So she's having a fucking yard sale. Mercedes Monet did some spring cleaning and was like, hey, sickos, who wants to buy some fucking old sweaty gear that I wore in the past? And she's having a fucking yard sale. Getting rid of some of her signature jewelry. So it's like fake theater. It's like the drama jewelry. You know what I mean? It's like the fake plated stuff that she wore on TV. But because she wore it on TV, now the value goes up as if it was real, or what? Is this a fucking money scheme? Lock her up. Oh my God. Actually, I'm selling my wigs that she wore. What, like the one that flipped up on her forehead and didn't stay on correctly? That one's used. I don't think it works properly. I don't know. That one might be broken, right? Jesus, the wig. This one is the wig. This is the wig that I wore when I got the mashed potatoes thrown in my hair. I'm actually selling some of these titles. I have to make room for the next 5 that I win. Jesus. So, in other AEW news, we got Kenny Omega appearing in this Street Fighter game, and I guess he did mocap for a character. I guess there's a character that I don't know if he helped design this character or if he had any input on it or if he was the inspiration for it, but this character does his shit, does the V trigger and all this stuff. He did the mocap for it. I think he does the voiceover for this character as well. And I'm not trying to shit on Kenny Omega, but again, you see the levels. Like Omega works on the game. Fucking Rhodes and Roman Reigns are in the goddamn movie. So there's levels to this shit. Omega would be in the movie. And he's ditching Revolution to go do some more like Capcom shit because he prioritizes fucking being in this video game more than AEW a little bit. A little bit, guys. A little bit. He's fucking rarely in full health, and he comes back, he starts having bangers. Now he's not going to be on their fucking pay-per-view because... You know, he's got to go do this fucking Capcom event, and it wasn't even the Go Home Dynamite. It was the Dynamite before the Go Home. It was the Go Home to the Go Home Dynamite. Like, that's cooked, man. People got to start prioritizing AEW. Like, MJF's about to drop this belt to Hangman again. Fuck's sakes. Let's watch this ad here and shout out Capcom, shout out Street Fighter. Or it's like a behind the scenes. It's like a vignette. It's not an ad. Maybe it is an ad. Whatever you want to call it. So he plays this character called Alex. Yeah, I was more into Tekken 2, chat. I saw that go. Cash Monet says I was more into Tekken. I'm with you there. I was more of a Tekken guy myself, although Street Fighter did rule. And does rule. But I was more into Tekken and Mortal Kombat, I gotta be honest. And chat will correct me. Alex was my main in Third Strike. So did he have anything to do with like the design of this character, or is this like, is it based off him in some way? I don't know. I'm just not familiar with Alex. I gotta be honest. Again, I was more into Mortal Kombat and Tekken, to be honest, than Street Fighter, but Street Fighter's chill. I just don't remember Alex. So the front kick for the mocap. I'm just a noob, yeah. Oh, look, and it's Michael fucking Nakazawa. Michael Nakazawa's with him doing the mocap. Good for them. I mean, that's an awesome gig. Like, it's good to get into that, but AEW just, everyone took Tone's money, and Tone just, pardon me, and Kenny over here went and made a fucking video game that flopped, Fight Forever, and then he's over here making video games for people that aren't AEW. Tone just funded his fucking video game career. Right? Like, Tone's just funding MJF's movie career. Fucking Mark! And fucking Deonna Purrazzo's school and all this shit, and fucking Britt Baker's dental practice, and so it's crazy. It's fucking crazy. Just open a charity and give wrestlers money. And then just put on a super indie show card once every 3-4 months. and just book who you want and pay them whatever you want, and then people will pop for it and then do small indie shows all over the world and all over the country, small downgraded YouTube show, and don't even bother with this TV shit bullshit and actually sell pay-per-views and shit. Like, fuck. This is literally Kenny Omega's dream come to life. This is his dream come to life. Yeah, dude, he's hitting the fucking Snapdragon and hitting V triggers. Kenny's tripping because he doesn't really lay those shits in. Yeah, the one-winged angel. Oh, come on, that's not very fair. Yeah, I mean, good for Kenny, honestly. Good for him. I mean, if you could make money from Tone to just go do that, and that's like your dream, you're living out your dreams of being like, Hadouken! You know? So, speaking of Tone, we have a couple. We don't have like much Tony Khan embarrassing moments or anything like that, unless there's a Tony Khan video. I have to check. I'm on Tony Khan Watch. I forgot today. Let me check if he's gone live. No, I don't think he has since the last V-Day, I think was the last one. So Tony Khan, people are talking about him. And Vince Russo, bro. Vince Russo, bro. Let me tell you about this mark. This fucking mark that I've called a mark a million times. So I swear to God, bro, this guy Tony Khan is a mark, bro. And this guy, without a shadow of a doubt, I swear without a shadow of a doubt, bro, hand to God, bro, Tony Khan, I'm a fan of Tony Khan. Oh, fuck, I died on that one. So, on the two-man power trip, so Vince Russo's definitely trashed Tony Khan a bunch of times. But this is what he had to say about him now. He goes, first of all, bro, let me tell you, I have not watched one single AEW show in over 5 years, bro. Let me, I swear, bro, hand to God, bro, I do not critique anything I do not watch. If I don't watch it, I ain't going to critique it, bro. I didn't watch it. Does Tony Khan make appearances on castrating the marks every single week? He absolutely does, bro, because he's a character. Bro, he's a character. Bro, I invented the character Stone Cold Steve Austin. He's freaking funny, bro. Okay, he's freaking funny. Let me tell you, he's unique. He does crazy things. He does stupid things. He has those ridiculous scrums, bro. So I'm actually a fan of Tony Khan. Bro, I swear to God, it's funny because some of these swear to Gods, like, it's my bit. Just a week ago, Nick Khan took a shot at Tony Khan, and I was pissed off. I was freaking pissed off, bro. Tony Khan is freaking harmless. I was harmless. I did not harm Vince McMahon or Jim Cornette or the Attitude Era. I did not harm TNA or Dixie Carter. I did not harm WCW or Eric Bischoff, bro. They're marks, bro. I invented professional wrestling, bro. He loves the business. He genuinely believes what he's doing is right. I am without a shadow of a doubt a fan of Tony K. He calls him Tony K. Fucking Steamboat Tone. So I'm a fan in the same way. He likes to A-log Tone. I do too. And so I'm a fan of Tony Khan myself as well. He is the fucking best guy.
The best guy is Tony Khan.
So, in other Tony McCon news, speculations grow that WBD could own as much as 25% of AEW. Now, let's just do a quick Google search, okay? We're going to journalist sleuth this out. If WBD owned 25% of AEW, would they have to disclose that publicly, and we'll ask the same to Grok and we'll see what we get. So we asked Google. So based on U.S. Securities Exchange Commission regulation and recent disclosures, if WBD owned 25% of all Elite Wrestling, they would likely be required to disclose it, though it potentially not in the specific way that names AEW directly to the public. See, that's what I've been fucking saying. Like, what if it's under something else and Tony Khan doesn't want the LLC name or whatever the fuck? Like, he's trying to hide, like, whatever that parent company is or whatever. People have accused him of that. It's because the way if it did get disclosed, like, who knows? It might be disclosed in a different way, man. And so the 10% rule and materiality. As a publicly traded company, WBD must disclose investments that are considered material to investors if the investment is large enough to affect WBD's stock price or financial health. A 25% stake is generally considered highly material as it represents a significant minority interest. The current situation, around 10%. A corporate disclosure filing and 24 lawsuit confirmed that no publicly held corporation owns 10% or more of AEW stock. So if they hold any stake, it's below 10%, meaning it does not currently reach the mandatory public disclosure threshold. How it would be reported if they own 25%. So equity method investments or other investments, while it might not say AEW in the public-facing summary. So here's how they could get away with it if they did own 25%, and walk with me here. Walk with me here, okay? You guys ready for this? I'm about to cook. So let's say it's classified under other investments because owning 25% of AEW does not affect WBD's bottom line at all because they're peeling off the fucking top the whole time. So all it is essentially an investment and a positive because Tony Khan will cover all the fucking rest. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, we gave them money, like 185 million or whatever the fuck, upwards, quote unquote, which isn't, they didn't just give that cash to Tone like Dave lied about. Everyone knows this. Right? So they can just, it's upwards 185. But if it's in other investments, 185 mil is nothing to them with what they were spending and wasting. Plus, it doesn't even have to be that much. For all we know, we didn't get a follow-up on that. We don't have exactly what WBD puts into it. So let's say they own 20%, 25%. It's under other investments, but it just doesn't need to be disclosed because of the fact that it doesn't affect, even though 25% usually is considered highly material, is what Google fucking said. What if that 25, so that doesn't mean that all 25% are, it doesn't mean across the board. There can be exceptions to that, is seemingly what Google's alluding to. All I'm fucking saying is, what if it isn't highly material to the success of or the growth of the company? It doesn't really add anything other than here's some extra capital. We scrape off the top. We own fucking 20% of this thing, but we take 5% of every live gate, and before it goes to AEW, and we take 10% of of all the pay-per-view sales, and any deals they make with Triller or whatever, we take a percent of that to simul or whatever the fuck. They make a deal with Amazon, we took 10% of that, and we do the streaming. They're allowed to negotiate with other people, blah 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 blah. It could just be worked out like that. We don't fucking know. And Tone's like, I'm real tight with WB. But I've been saying this whole time, I think they're just marking him in. He's a money mark. They're just money marking this guy in. Okay? And JJ Alexander on PWT Podcast, episode 102, where we cover the Niccolo Piccolo, Casey Wasserman, Tony Khan, Epstein Files saga. You know, he points out a little bit about Tone, how the way these guys talk about him is like he's this dude who's just sort of in the fucking way. He's just a dude in the way. Mega, we cover all that Mega stuff. And she looks at Tone as just a kid. She's got heat with Tone, allegedly. Okay? Overall, allegedly. So he might just be a nuisance to everyone. And WBD's like, we're just going to money mark this kid in like everybody's done. So I don't want to sit here. I don't know. I'm not going to sit here and go, they own 25%, but like, would you be shocked if it was revealed that they did? I wouldn't be for one fucking second. The top comment under this is, I think Phil Marks said that 2 years ago. That's what someone said. Or yeah, right here. I don't know. And even Dose Evil here is like, they'd have to disclose 10%, but I asked Google, bro. I trust Google, man. So I just asked Google. So that's research, buddy. So here, let's ask Grok really quick and just do a quick, like, let's see if Grok has any different information to put out there. I don't see why it would pull from anything different. But let's see. No, Warner Bros. Would not necessarily have to. It's the exact same thing. Grok just pulled the exact same thing as Google did. So, yeah, there you go, man. I think there's a possibility that they own 20 or plus %, and it's not considered highly material to their bottom line or whatever. I am willing to believe that, and they just use it as a tool to. Yeah, we'll promote Superman on this shit, and we'll promote our whatever movies, Minecraft, we'll fucking whatever. This is our wrestling show. People just seem to want to be in the wrestling business, and they seemingly want to all have a wrestling fed, right? AMC's got one, Roku, Tubi, all this shit. So moving along here. In AEW news. Speaking of people making money and people being ungrateful and whatnot, Dustin Rhodes, he talked about his WWE career, and he said, I did what I was told and it got me nowhere. And I quote tweeted this, and I was like, dude, it got you a 7-figure job with Tony Khan. Like, what are you talking about? It got you nowhere. You did what you were told. You became Goldust. That's like an iconic figure in the history of pro wrestling. Period. In the WWF, in WWE. Now, even if he didn't enjoy it, that's fine. But if he wasn't Goldust, he would not be making 7 figures off Tone to be a part-time consultant for multiple years. He's made 6 or 7 figures a year off Tone for multiple years now. So everybody has to do what they're told and sacrifice a little bit of happiness. And hopefully the dream is for everybody that you either really enjoy, like if you enjoy working at McDonald's and you're like, nah, dude, this is what I show up to work. I do my thing. I got weekends off. I fucking love it. I don't need to make $1 bajillion. I'm the happiest man flipping patties on earth. Good. That's all you can hope for in life, is that you do something you love and you fucking can do it for a living, or that your job, like we need people doing blue collar shit, and to pretend like everybody doing that or having people who have to answer to bosses are all just miserable fucks who suck. No, dude, everybody wishes they could just do what they want, scratch their balls and fucking get $1 million for it, Dustin Rhodes. Like, goddamn, that was the work you put in. The Goldust was the grind, bruv. And now you're getting a fucking $1 million a year, or maybe $750 a year, and have been for a while from Tone. I don't know why you would shit on that. I would be so grateful. I would be so fucking grateful. And Dustin Rhodes snaps at fans questioning his WWE no raise claim. So, Goldust, the AEW veteran, faced a wave of pushback online. Some fans questioned his claims about not getting a raise in WWE. And others argued he was already sitting on the bench in AEW. And the initial comment that reignited everything came from a fan who told him bring Goldust back to WWE immediately. Rhodes responded bluntly, stating he never got a raise in WWE and didn't want to go back to doing nothing. But once critics began challenging him publicly, the tone escalated. He never got a raise in his whole career. I just don't believe that. I'm sorry, Dustin. You're a fucking legend in the game in my mind. I saw fucking Dustin Rhodes work in a house show once where he just looked like he didn't want to be there at all. I think he was working like Rhino or some shit. And then I started a fucking "You're a legend" chant, and he fucking heated up and he was just feeling it. And he got real. Like, I was just going nuts for Goldust, dude. He seemed like he didn't want to be there, though. And I think that was not too long. It was like a few years before AEW was a thing as well. So, I don't blame him for not liking it and being put on the fucking house show loops and all that, but you didn't get any raise ever. I just don't know if I believe that, man. But I'm not going to tell him his truth. Hey, I'm not going to pocket watching him. So AEW, okay, so Rhodes snapped back. You don't have a clue what you're talking about. You guys always think you do, but you don't. Don't fucking tell me what's true and not true. You weren't there. You're fucking idiot. You're a fucking idiot. And this guy, Worthy Take, said, you claim you never got a raise in WWE, which would indicate you made the exact same when you left as when you started. Clearly not true. You claim you would be sitting on the bench in WWE when that's exactly what you're doing in AEW. You're just glazing so you don't get cut. You're just glazing so you don't get cut. That's so shitty, man, that he has to deal with that, I guess. But like the last part, you're just glazing so you don't get cut. I don't think Tony Khan will ever cut Dustin Rhodes. He needs to keep the Rhodes family. He has to have that tie there. Like Tone had Rita Chatterton on fucking salary. Okay. He's going to keep Dustin Rhodes employed there so he can allude to Dusty Rhodes and get away with Cody Cutters and stuff like that. And getting away with alluding to WWE shit. Because that's all fucking Tone knows how to do, right? But it's sort of shitty that he has to deal with that, though. People being like, you're just glazing so you don't get cut. And I don't know if it's glazing. I just think Dustin Rhodes was kind of unhappy doing the Goldust thing and then having to sit through his brother doing the Stardust thing and shit. I just think it's made him depressed. You can't fucking... I think he's gotten sober and stuff like that. So you got to think about his time as Goldust. Was he drinking and pilling and stuff like that? It's probably... You don't remember it the way he did. Although it is... I get why these AEW wrestlers don't get the luxury of being able to complain about shit these days because people just call them out. But this guy, Mike Campana, says, got you nowhere. You were a multi-time tag and IC champ and had a Hall of Fame career there. And then Dustin Rhodes said financially, which again, at the end of the day, it's what it's all about. And so that's why Tone's a money mark, because the company that made the most money, he couldn't financially get to the position he wanted to be in, which, let's be honest, I don't know how long Dustin Rhodes has been sober, but if he was boozing and pilling and spending all of his prime Goldust money, here's the thing, right? When something catches on, and I talked about this with Ridge Holland, when the Brawling Brutes catch on and you're like selling shirts and you're getting booked and you're like, holy shit, start putting all that money away. Because the chance of you getting another thing where you're the next fucking guy, I mean, typically in wrestling, once you find the thing, you have your fucking thing. You should be so lucky if you have multiple gimmicks that work and where you're like over. So when you hit, you Blue Meanie it, right? He got on WWF TV. What did Blue Meanie do? He started paying off his grandma's house and taking care of his family and shit like that, right? That's what you fucking do right then and there. And you get that out of the way and you save it. And if you have nothing like that to do, you just start saving it the fuck away. I'm not trying to tell people how to handle their fucking money or Dustin Rhodes. I'm not trying to tell them what to do. But if that's what was going on back then yeah, you also might have been ahead if you weren't like fucking doing what you were doing back then too. So you got to understand it's going to drum up tribal shit in fans these days. So like you can't even really talk about shit like this. People in AEW don't get the benefit of that because so many people kiss balls. And Dustin Rhodes does have a handful of instances where he's seemingly sucked up to tone a little bit. But this is proof in the pudding that fucking tone is a money mark. Like this is the proof right here. Like financially, Dustin Rhodes can just go there, set up a wrestling school, just wrestle whenever, get fucking 6-7 figures, 6-7 to just do his thing, you know? Like that's a blessing, dude. And that's only provided to you because you were Goldust. Make no mistake about it. So this guy, Big Tom, says, got you nowhere, hugely favored character and part of many iconic scenes. Why is Dustin Rhodes responding to all of these people? He fucking blocked me. I didn't even say anything to him. I've done nothing but put him over. Fucking blocked me. And he's responding to all of these people. Financially, idiot. Dustin Rhodes was like 100 total AEW matches. His last year in WWE, he had 112. With all due respect, it looks like you're sitting the bench in AEW, not WWE. Only match I've ever seen of you in AEW was against Rhodes. And I think Lance Archer back in the day. Archer is who he means here with Lance, using first names, pronouns, and names, pal. We need fucking... and then Dustin Rhodes says, you don't have a clue what you're talking about. You guys always think you do, but you don't. No, it's just, Dustin, you weren't that specific. You just weren't. And also people just react to the headline. So don't talk to media and don't tweet shit out if you don't want people to just react to the headline. Period. Everything's clickbait. All news, all journalism, everything. Even these fucking articles. That's why Dave Meltzer does shit the way he's doing things, man. He knows what he's doing, getting a rise out of people to some degree. For sure. He's not trolling. He is a narcissist. Like he's so fucking cooked where he thinks his way of viewing wrestling is the end all be all 100%. But he knows what he's doing. So Dustin, if you don't want people to spin shit, then don't say shit. It's that simple, because use your own hashtag, keep stepping or whatever, because if you do or say anything, people are going to run with that headline because you're a fucking celebrity and they're just all dirt sheets trying to get their fucking news in for the day. So Dynamite's over. We watched that. It was meh compared to the last couple weeks. So the last thing I want to do here tonight, guys, is talk about one of our old school fools. Not even old school. We've been chronicling Ibou forever now, and we're going to get into some Ibou action in just a moment in a little mini sicko segment, just to sort of piggyback off of what we're about to talk about right now about. That's why I kicked your leg from your leg there, Brett, buddy. So Self-Made, the Self-Made podcast and wrestle purists and shit, that's Ibou's thing, right? And like Ibou's backup Hangman, this hack here is backup Steiner. Like they're just cringe lords. They're fucking unoriginal hacks. They all are. And Tony Khan liked this tweet, self-made shit, self-made forever. Like these guys are putting themselves over like it's fucking... like it's PWT, like it's the parody character I do on this fucking...
Wrestling's not right.
And then Tony Khan, the least self-made guy ever, maybe who's ever existed in human
The best
history,
guy is Tony Khan.
likes this. You know what I'm saying? And this is why these guys mark out and do this shit. And they do this shit for free. Yes, is Dave probably getting paid? I would not be shocked for a second. In fact, it's sadder if he isn't. But these other lowly little ass dirt sheets, man, Fightful, Bodyslam.net, Self-Made, they'll do this shit for Tony Khan to like their tweets. They'll do this shit for Tony Khan to like their fucking tweets. And Tony Khan only likes people who babies him and coddles him and glazes him. Is it a coincidence that Sports Illustrated gave Tony Khan every fucking award? And Tony Khan shows up at the awards and gives an interview to John Alba? Is it a coincidence that Tony Khan calls Dave Meltzer on the phone and he admitted that He's been doing so since 2019, and Tony Khan is in a fucking message board faction on the Observer, on the no DQ forums and shit back in the day. And that Tony Khan is, and then, you know, Dave Meltzer is getting saying he's pushing for shit, and he's getting calls for Tony Khan saying he's pushing for angles and stuff like this. Is it a coincidence that Tony Khan likes these tweets and MJF does run-ins? Now, remember how I told you guys MJF is friends with Ibou. That's where Ibou came with all that Britt Baker stuff. That's why the Britt Baker stuff, when you hear the stories about MJF got heated and doesn't like Britt Baker, that shit's true. Even though Ibou was talking shit about like Britt Baker cheating and all this stuff. And who knows, maybe he was fucking true, who knows, but who do you think, and I'm sorry to do this, but MJF's just called them up before on their Discord stream, talk shit, hung up the phone. And then all of a sudden, MJF, he's on his press tour. He be sure to stop by the self-made sessions so they can ask him pressing questions about WWE and literally asking him, yo, bro, you were in factions before. Are you going to be in more factions? Like the markest shit you could ever ask the fucking guy. And he will come and do the interview. Self-Made gave AEW all the fucking awards. Sports Illustrated gave AEW all their awards. The Wrestling Observer gave AEW all their awards. Is it starting to make sense, guys? Like, is this shit starting to make sense? So, you know, they do their interview with MJF. It's like a big get for them. Tony Khan's liking their shit. See, they'll do this for free. Tone might have a guy like Meltzer in his pocket, but these marks will just do it for free, and they'll talk shit on Discords. And somebody pointed out, they're like, man, Tony Khan must really fucking hate Britt Baker. Right? Because if you guys remember, let's go back in time when Ibou said the Britt Baker cheating rumor was one that was circulating for a long time, far before I ever acknowledged it. And he is right about that. That was floating around for a long time. Someone put it out there a while back. I remember Billy Butty was talking about it, but he even said, he's like, I saw Adam Cole. He was like, I was at an event and I saw Adam Cole and Britt Baker in the hotel, and I don't think I don't think they're swingers. You know, it's pretty much what Billy Body was saying. So he backed off that rumor. So people kind of backed off that rumor. It was Brad Shepard. That's who it was. That fucking mark. And so he like made this story up, or he was like, yeah, Britt Baker's banging Christian Cage. Like he was just saying unhinged crazy shit. And so the Britt Baker cheating rumor was one that was circulating for a long time, far before I ever acknowledged it. So MJF was telling you that Britt Baker was cheating, or what? MJF was the guy who punched the wall when he was all mad at fucking Britt Baker. You guys remember that?
Fucking Mark!
You guys remember when MJF or when Britt Baker did that interview on that podcast not long after she went missing again, and she was kind of talking shit about how there was heat between MJF and Cody Rhodes there. And then also Ibou was talking shit about, oh, there was heat in the MJF or in the Punk MJF match. There was some sort of heat there or something. How would he know all that? Like, I'm sorry, guys. And I hate to do this. I like MJF, but like, man, like you're fucking talking to these guys. Like, these are your buddies. So Ibou goes, before I ever acknowledged it. And her most recent post came after Conan spoke about it on his show. Yeah, so Conan spoke about it because Billy Butty used to do the hot news. Billy Butty used to do the hot news on Keeping It 100, if you guys remember that. And shout out Cav, who does his show with Billy there, and he listens to PWT. Always showing love. I'll get him on sometime. Let's do it. PWT podcast. Cav, what's up? Hit me up. So Conan spoke about it on his show, though, and that's where Conan got that from, was that rumor was kind of going around. And I'm not putting it all on Billy Butty because I think he heard it from someone else, but, you know, that's where this all sort of stems from. And so it just shows you, too, that Ibou and them, like if people are talking to them and telling them shit, man, they're just in the like, this is my bro, so I'm not going to put this out there. Adam Cole breaks up with Britt Baker. She's being ghosted off television. Now I'll leak her laundry out because Tone and fucking MJF love Adam Cole. It's their best friend. Like, it's just so fucking gross and cringy. So Ibou says, that said, I did contribute to this when I made an ill-advised joke during a period when I was charging $5 on Discord. I made a joke. And so this guy says, glad real Britt Baker apologized to you. And remember when Ibou said that she apologized to me. That's how deluded, sociopathic, that's how fucking self-made, more like fucking self-centered, dude. More like lacking self-awareness, dude. Like, you're so far up your own ass, you think she apologized to you. And then DMs got leaked. I fucking got DM'd about this shit by people who fucking worked in AEW. And I'll just leave it at that. Like, even me, people were blowing me up about this is the real story. Britt Baker says false and called this asshole out about the apology aspect. Who knows about the cheating rumor? Again, it's not like Ibou made that up, though. He's hearing it from people, and then he's trying to go, well, Conan said it. Trying to fucking pass blame off on Conan? On K-Dog? Conan! Come on now. And so Tone just clearly doesn't, I don't know. He's done with Britt Baker. And if I was Britt, I'd be like, just fucking release me, buddy. And then Britt Baker recently revealed that she can't even practice her fucking dentistry because fucking sickos are threatening her and stuff. It's fucking nuts, man. It's nutty out there. And so Meltzer said, what posted this? He goes, fake, and he tags Britt Baker and he says, fake nice guy billionaire Tony Khan continues to support the worst people on this app because they're sycophants who gargle his bodily fluids for access. In 7 years, Tony Khan has not once ever called out any scumbags who harass female wrestlers in either company. And so Ibou's like, real recognized, real self-made sessions will be live shortly. MJF will be in the house. Tony's like the most unrealist guy, man. Tone's got clones, Ibou. And you guys aren't real. And yeah, he reposts this screen grab there. And, this juicy fruit, this is just to go back in time as well. That Ibou guy lying about Britt Baker cheating on Adam Cole still doesn't sit right with me because she's still dealing with that bullshit lie till this day. And then Britt Baker goes, yep, disgusting. And here's the thing, right? Billy Bobby and people like Brad Shepard, they're known for saying crazy shit, right? So it probably hurts her worse when she assumed Ibou had her back and stuff, and she's wrestling for Meltzer Stars too. And she thought all these people had her fucking back. She's chasing bitches in the fucking bathrooms with her group before, and then all of a sudden she's taking heat from MJF. She breaks up with Adam Cole. MJF's punching walls over Alicia Tout. Remember, that was over Alicia Tout, and all of a sudden Trey Miguel's not allowed to work in AEW for some reason. Like, you guys know what I'm saying? MJF pulls the strings to the game. Okay? I'm telling you right now, and it's all avoided. It's not even like Ibou brought that up. Hey, so people were saying that Trey Miguel, you don't even have to be disrespectful about it. Just some people said that was put on you. What do you make of all that? Like, you didn't even ask him a fucking question about that. He's asking him about, I won't be, MJF's like, yeah, I'll never be in a faction again. The factions haven't really paid off for me. Who gives a fuck, So, again, this ties into our next segment, folks, the Go Home segment. And it is called the Sicko segment. I almost can't even do it, guys. I just got over a cold. It's almost like it ain't happening with the fucking voice drop here. Let me take another crack at it, okay? We head over to Sickos and Wackos folder and Phil Marks bookmarks because it is time for the Sicko segment. There you go. One for old time's sake. King Dingaling for 5 says it's similar to when Mercedes was too oblivious to the fact it was the Fed that made her a name to even be offered the money. Bro, a lot of these wrestlers, it seems like they're just doing it to pat tone on the fucking head. I don't know if Mercedes is as bad as like some of these other wrestlers. Like Swerve just seems delusional about like if he was still in WWE. Let's say none of these other guys were. I mean, it's easy to say. That's like a dumb what if, I guess. I'm not going to like diminish Swerve, but it's just like, man, come on. Where do you really see your positioning? Like in WWE, you'd probably be like a mid upper guy, I would say, especially if he bulked up the way he did. But it's like you got to understand that what you're worth in AEW is only because you were in the Fed. And so many people walk around like just forgetting that. King Dingling for 2. Thank you, dude. Says Tony was born on 3rd, thinks he hit a triple cup. Triple cup. We'll play that one down. Thank you so much, dude. Thank you so much for the support.
Acknowledge me.
Guys, it is time for nobody's favorite segment. One more time. Let's drop it one more time. And it is called the Sicko Segment. Brought to you by NordVPN.com/Pro Wrestle Times. And the Sicko segment is getting a plentiful, although we're not going to rip through this for the next fucking 2 hours. We're just going to stay on topic here. We're going to talk about Ibou and his many L's. And so let's see. Ibou, it's so full of stuff. Sport of Wrestling, one of our old fools, is back. Okay, in the mix. We have some new fools joining the fold here over the next little while. But here is Ibou, okay? And Ibou strikes again. So Oro Mensah, formerly Oro Mensah, the main man Oro, responds to Ibou, who says, Speed is doing a really cool thing, but it's kind of sad it took him touring and showcasing Africa for people to realize the beauty of the country and its culture. Like, what do you mean you didn't know? Imagine being a condescending piece of shit. What do you mean you didn't know how beautiful the country of Africa is? Buddy.
Stupid idiot.
Are you fucking joking? Name a continent. I can name 3 countries in any fucking continent, okay? This is crazy that he's Africa for people to realize the beauty of the country, and he's being condescending. What do you mean you didn't know how beautiful the country of Africa is? Being a condescending prick? Meanwhile, you're a dumbass who eats cereal out of a paper bowl with a metal spoon, fucking poke through the bottom. And Oro Mensah goes, probably also did it so people stop calling Africa a country. Like, no shit. And then Ibou goes, terrible botch on my end, especially as a Senegalese man. A Senegalese man, dude. God damn it. And Oro Mensah goes, yeah, that's kind of wild. Oh my God. You know what I mean? Wally's being a condescending asshole. Like, you can't make that shit up, bro. That's just like karma. So Ibou responds to TNA doing a good number in the ratings, right? February 5th rating, 241K on AMC. Ibou goes, the Nielsen shift actively saved TNA from a potential early termination in a few months. First off, you don't know shit about their deal. Idiot. I was spot on about their fucking deal. I'm not even a dirt sheet. Mark, who gets interviews from fucking wrestlers handed to me like Tony Khan does for you. Okay?
Wrestling's not fake!
And the Nielsen shift has showed that wrestling isn't as highly rated as it fucking should be, according to everybody spurging out about the ratings. Now, all of a sudden, it's helping boost the fucking ratings. Make up your minds.
Master need to obliterate.
Ibou, stick to making shit up in Discord. Okay? And I tweeted out, why just make some dumbass shit like this up? Early terminate. Why would it get early terminated? Terminate that. Why would it get early terminated? Where would that ever even be a thing? A few months from early termination, but you spurg out when people say if Netflix buys WBD, they might just can AEW. You cannot take these people fucking seriously, dude. Any of these dirt sheet marks, you cannot take them seriously.
I smashed your knee to obliterate.
So moving along here. I think we have a couple more elbows. Before we wrap things up. God, I got to do a whole pod that's just a sicko segment, I think. With all the shit you guys see in this folder. If you're watching, if you're just listening, there's tons and tons. And yeah, so here's the last one from Elbu. So this guy here, Mr. Eddie Gillette, tweeted these screen grabs out here. I'll give him a like. Trying to throw more likes around. So he says, let me try to work this one out. WWE counter-programmed AEW and Seth got hurt. You imply it's karma. Then nobody really believes Seth was injured at all. Now WWE is bragging about duping fans, and this caused multiple injuries from the Cosmos. What a troll. And this is the thing, man. It's always fucking conspiracy theories and fucking... Well, I mean, a lot of conspiracy theorists have been proven right over the last, few months here, a couple months, but it's just always like made up weird bad juju shit. And then meanwhile, that's why Elbu ends up with his foot in his mouth, like he just did with the Africa is a country, not a continent thing. Just like he does when he goes, no, literally no one got worked by Seth's injury. But then he put a tweet out about how he got worked by Seth's injury. You know what I'm saying? Like, these people just want to act like they're insiders. They want access. Access is good enough for them. Access is not... Oh, man. Listen, sometimes when, like, Tony owns you now, you know that, right? This is what I've said about JD as well. Like,
sure thing, bro. Sure thing.
And shout out JD from NY. He's crushing it lately. But, like, these wrestlers make fun of him because he wants to get into the party. It's not even about being too cool for school, but once you want to be in with one of the boys, man, then they own you, dude. Then those motherfuckers own you. Point blank. And they're going to not let you into a party and then make a fucking t-shirt about you making fun of you and shit and then claim they're the ones being bullied. And dumbasses and sycophants will fucking cling on to that and run with it because they own you in a way. Like, you can't deny you want that access. So it's the same thing. Like, if you're thirsty for this shit, I've had wrestlers hit me up and say, Phil, be the co-host of my thing. Like, the way, Conrad, I've had wrestlers hit me up with shit like that. I don't know. I don't like even bugging wrestlers for interviews. I don't want to bother your fucking time. I just want to talk shit. I just want to be a fan of this shit. Maybe that's a bad move. Maybe there's some opportunities down the line that I've passed up that maybe would have paid off for me. I don't know. But all I'm saying is this. You're too thirsty for it, Elbu. You're thirsty like Thurston. And that's why it's so easy to fucking clown you for this stupid shit. It just piles on top of itself. You can't sit there and, like, be so condescending towards people too. Okay? Like, we were watching Raw when Undertaker came out. I tweeted, oh shit, are they going to do a match? Like a real match instead of the Boneyard thing? And then I just quote tweet it and I go, oh no, Hall of Fame, that rules. I got my hopes up there. Self-deprecate a little. These guys never do that. Dave is always sniffing his own farts. Elbu's always sniffing his own farts. Stop it, Cut the shit out, man. So anyways, I don't mean to preach here, but it's just cope, and it's always just sniffing your own farts, and then you just look stupid. You can't sit there and be condescending about, oh man, it's bad karma that Seth got hurt. It's evil voodoo that he got hurt because they do everything wrong, and then all of a sudden it's no one got worked by that stupid idiots because you want to be in the cool kids club of people who didn't get worked. That's lame, dude. Get worked. It's fun. It's crazy. So anyways, Elbu is like, they didn't so Wrestle Ops, sorry, I always get ahead of myself here. Wrestle Ops, this was before, right? He goes, WWE TKO want to continue holding shows. We covered this in the past on the same days that AEW are holding shows so that they can control and take the momentum online. So listen, like WWE, listen what the fucking dirt sheets write about too. This is what's so crazy. Like, I come here on this show, I say this shit. There's no like, Phil Marks at Pro Wrestle Times said this fucking thing. And then all of a sudden, all the sheets are like, well, TKO's telling us that they want to control the narrative online. And that's what it is. It's just all about stealing the headline. I've been saying this for a fucking year, ever since they started going head to head. It's like, dude, the whole point is, and I always said, don't back down. Don't do your show earlier in the day. Why? Because then it doesn't matter if it's NXT. It doesn't matter if it's fucking Evolution. It doesn't matter if it's SmackDown. It's going to steal you're letting WWE steal the final headlines from you and the trends over the weekend. Like you gotta not. And then Dave Meltzer's like, oh, WWE's really learning their lesson by what? Trending all day when All In is on and no one gives a fuck after the main event. It's just over and it doesn't trend again until Dynamite's on the net. It's fucking, these people are stupid. So Ibou says that WWE didn't steal a single headline in 25. They didn't steal any of the momentum from AEW shows. All In wasn't immediately forgotten about, and everyone was talking about fucking Goldberg and how they quote unquote botched his retirement. And the retirement speech got cut off. Oh, how could they do that? Well, because a bunch of marks got mad and then they uploaded it online so that everybody would go online and type in WWE Goldberg speech, and then that would get trending over whatever the fuck Hangman and Moxley did that had no payoff in the long run. But in the long run, right? How are these guys? They didn't steal a headline. Yeah, they literally did with the Goldberg thing. They literally... It was like almost manufactured that way, even. That's how much they stole the fucking headline. So Ibou's just coping. They set their NXT talent up to fail because they worked hard and most people didn't watch the show live when they could have had their own night. Seth Rollins is now injured and Goldberg's speech got cut off. Well done. Great job. So again, Rollins was now injured. And then he went on to say nobody got worked. Remember that? Nobody got worked by... We covered that tweet before too. No one serious actually got worked by Seth Rollins' injury. That's what Ibou said after Uncle Dave started saying the same fucking thing. After Uncle Dave started saying the same fucking thing, Ibou goes, yeah, actually, no
he had Cuervo with him the whole time too.
So Ibou recently tweeted this out about a month ago, 2 months ago now, almost. Ibou says, WWE Unreal Season 2 is built around a worked injury that worked no serious people. Oh, yeah, that might be the tweet, or this might be another tweet of him coping. Ibou, you're fucking coping. We just looked at a tweet where you said Seth Rollins is now injured. So you're not a serious person.
Are coping and seething. You just can't accept what you're seeing. Yes, you're coping and seething. The truth it is scalding, and now you are molding and coping so hard. Coping and seething.
So my man's a cope. He's molding. And so Ibou says this, and this is yesterday he tweets this out. They really bragged about duping the fans with Seth and then lost everybody to injury and are left with Austin Theory and Logan Paul. Logan Paul's a bigger draw than anybody who is on your fucking shitty awards. Austin Theory's solid. I don't know why people hate on him. I will say this, like, he was naturally getting over and then he kind of went away and then Triple H put him in this group. They could have just probably let him get over and beat Waller and just go and do his own thing naturally, I think. I think that would have worked a little better than what they're doing now. We'll fairly critique it. I think that's a fair critique. But left with Theory and Paul, well, that's not even a bad thing. And then they lost everybody to injury. So everybody you're talking about is literally Seth and literally Bronson. And that's 2 of the 5 members of the fucking Vision, or 6, maybe even 7, 6, 7, 6, 7, maybe 6 or 7 people in the group, if you want to count masked men and whatnot, and who's to be revealed. Everyone, okay, or just 2 people. And it's crazy because he's like, they really bragged about duping the fans. Yeah, buddy, it's a fucking reality show. and they're bragging about how they pulled off a work that worked you, that worked a bunch of people. Okay? I called it. I don't take pride in fucking, it's irritated me. Everyone's like, it didn't work anyone. It fucking worked everyone. Fucking worked everybody. Okay? You guys are just coping now because you didn't see it. And you hear that Phil saw it, and then it fucking pisses you off because I roast you clowns. I know what's going on. I see right through your shit. They're watching. They look and see it's PWT. And so he's like happy that WWE went, yeah, we worked an angle, and then someone really got hurt. Like, who gives a fuck? That's like saying, oh, in AEW, Darby fell through glass, and then, oh, in real life, something bad happens to him. Like, oh, he got in a car crash and flew through a windshield. Oh, karma. Like, it's like pointing some shit like that out. It's so fucking stupid. And he's like happy. They really bragged about duping the fans. Yeah, they did. And then he actually got hurt. Right. So something out of their control. So they made you believe that something in their control was something out of their control, and then something out of their control happened for real. And now you're like happy about it. Now they're just left with Theory and Paul. Paul will outdraw all of AEW combined. You know what I'm saying? Like, he had 16, he sold a Pokemon card for $16 million and had millions of fucking people watching this fucking stream he's doing for a Pokemon card. What are you fucking crying about? Why shit on Theory and Paul? And then this guy, TC of WrestleVotes, when you mock the injury gods for Unreal, the injury gods mock you back. It's not mocking the injury gods, retard. So was Paul Heyman mocking the injury gods when they flicked the cigarette in Sandman's face and he got caned in the eye or whatever the fuck? So every worked injury ever in history of pro wrestling. See, these dumb fucks want to see people go out there, wrestle for real. They want to go out there and watch fake MMA. That's all it is. Like, just watch MMA if you want to see people just really fuck each other up. And they want to see people get dumped on their fucking heads and really actually hurt like Ospreay, and then cry that AJ Styles won't go work for a company to have a match against Ospreay, who may never fucking wrestle again, who could take a bad bump and never walk again if he takes another bad neck bump. And these sickos wonder why people think they're fucking stupid as fuck. Okay? And people say name calling. People do that when you run out of valid arguments. No, bitch. I'm still cooking. I hit you with both. It's a fucking Jim Cornette paintbrush slap. Okay? You get smacked one way with the verbal, and then I come back and hit you again with the fucking insults. Okay? That's how it goes
fuck
down.
you, bye, boom.
Over here. Like, you wonder why people are like, you're sickos in a fucking bubble. That's why, because you fucking are. When Dave Meltzer says shit like, everybody thought that, he literally said this, everybody this year seemingly thought the awards were spot on. Brian Alvarez is just a podcaster who works for the site, but everybody was like, seems to agree that it was the Observer Awards got it spot on. It's like, no, dude, in your fucking bubble, like, out of everyone you haven't blocked out and shit and on your message boards and shit, yes, they all agree with you, Dave. We know. He just admits to it. Everybody. No, it's not everybody. Same thing with Ibou. Everyone. Then they just lost everybody to injury. They lost 2 people to an injury, and they're freak accidents. So does that mean so when Sabu and Rey Mysterio did the spot of the springboard DDT through the table at One Night Stand, they were mocking the injury gods and someone deserved to get hurt because they did a fucking angle where the guy couldn't continue and he was incapacitated. And just imagine how fucking entitled, how self-absorbed and self-centered and egotistical you have to be to even say something like this without thinking about how long pro wrestling existed before you and how many times an injury angle's been used to get a match over or sell tickets or, you know, fucking 50% of wrestling angles is a fucking worked injury, buddy. In the history books. No, I don't know that number for sure, but 30% Brian. It's cooked, man. And yeah, Elboo's a goddamn fool. And that was, ladies and germs, the sicko segment. Thank you for hanging out with me. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. Round of applause. 250 watching across X and YouTube. Hit the like button on your way out. Leave a comment. Check out patreon.com/Pro Wrestle Times. I'm going to upload this podcast to YouTube 102. PWT Pod is back. I'll start trying to bug people for interviews and guests and shit like that for the pod again, I guess, for you guys. I guess. Fine. But you got to tell me you love me. And I appreciate you all. I've been Phil S. Marks. You guys have been just a beautiful fucking audience. And be good to each other. Drink lots of water. The weather's changing. So, you know, just stay up on your shit. And, yeah, hopefully you don't catch the flu or get your goddamn allergies in a tiffy like myself. But I'm over the hump now. Elimination Chamber, I won't be with you guys. I'll do a show Sunday probably to review shit, or maybe just Member Monday. It all depends how I'm feeling and what's going on, what work I got to get done. And I just appreciate you all. Be good to each other. And I'll see you all on the other side. Break on through to the other side.
Every booking is golden, you see. Perfect cards crafted for you and me. Yeah, the best guys, Tony Khan, it's true. Triple cup, best damn booker in the land. 3 red cups stacked up, always in command. Triple cup, living legend of the fight. Just a call away from making it right. Never see him back hard, no way. Got the whole roster locked in for the day. A Crimson Tower, modern art. Triple cup. Triple cup. Every booking is golden, you see. Perfect cards crafted for you and me. Yeah, the best guys, Tony Khan, it's true. Triple cup. Best damn booker in the land. 3 red cups stacked up, always in command. Triple cup. Living legend of the fight. Just a call away from making it right. Never see him back hard, no way.